It's weird not being.
Yo.
Okay.
I know, right?
There it is.
What's up, everybody? Hello.
It's in a room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Producer Lounge. We landed it. Here we are. This is your weekly music production broadcast, but today is a little weird. We're going to do an industry lounge.
Yeah.
We're not talking
Look at how many
music
people
production.
are in the room right now.
I know,
insane.
it's stacked.
Stacked.
It's insane. It's going to be a great show, guys. We're going to talk about a lot of things, so buckle up, okay? It's episode 1 of the Industry Lounge. This intro always goes hard, dude. Folks, we're joined by the boys from Badger Base Camp.
Ooh, we got the squad. Original.
Badger Music Festival now.
Ooh.
Badger Music and Arts Festival.
Okay.
True.
Correction.
Maybe
Finally settled on a new name. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thank you guys so much for having us.
Fuck yeah, dude.
We're honored to be on the show.
Hell yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Why don't you guys go around and say who you are? You can shout out your own music project if you want as well, as always.
Cool. I'm Brenden, production director, talent buyer, help out with graphics sometimes, and I go by Desacore Music.
Desacore.
Previous guest of the pod.
Yeah, friend of the
Yeah,
show.
shout out.
Happy to be back.
Yeah, I'm Max, production director as well, booking many hats. Happy to be here.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, artist?
Oh yeah, I go by Cloud Forest.
There we go.
Oh, cool. I didn't even know that. Shit.
We got a legend in the house.
A literal legend.
Yeah.
My name's Tig. Production name, I go by Duality. I am a talent buyer, street team, utility knife, Switzerland, whatever you need, I'm there. Yeah, wear many hats, but honestly, just here to back up these two. These guys are the brains for sure.
And my name is Chad. I go by Wick, and I'm the administrative director and the safety director for the festival. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course.
Insanely behind the scenes important.
Yeah.
He's the amygdala of our brain.
Dude, the vernacular on this boy, hell yeah.
I think that would be the anterior cingulate cortex.
All right.
Yes, of course.
Listen here, Mr. Degree, okay?
So we are going to bring the podcast over to the Festi. And when we were talking to them about it, we were like, let's get you in on the podcast early so we can chat about all the podcast stuff. And, yeah, we can just kind of talk about any kind of random information or fun stuff that's happening, changes, all that sort of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, so during the festival, you guys can catch these guys live from 11 to 2 in the Spun Out Lounge. They're going to have some pretty prominent artists from our festival lineup as guests on their show.
Wink, wink.
So, if you happen to be walking by and you see them, stop down for a second, go hang out with the boys, and maybe learn a thing or two.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Hang.
We got, we'll have some, returning folks, I'm sure.
Yep.
We haven't even talked to them yet, but I think everybody will be down to come and have a little powwow.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
We have a
That'll
lot
be
of
fun.
people who have been on your show.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people that have been on your show that are playing at the fest, a part of the fest. Just Homemade Spaceship, Philia, just to name a couple that we were just talking about before.
Yeah.
They'll both be at the festival. A lot of brilliant minds. That's kind of like the goal for sure, is bringing out like-minded people.
And we got our boy Aznadel here, who's going to be
Yes,
performing
sir.
as well at the festival. So
Yeah, where's the air horn?
Can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
So, how do we want to start this? You guys want to start with some of these questions here?
I think we just go in, to pretend like we don't know what Badger is. Just give us a little bit of insight on what the whole thing is.
For me, there's 2 facets of it. So Badger Base Camp was different ownership. We took over last year, 2025, and it's essentially like the Secret Garden crew, which Chad and I founded. Tigger and Brenden were core parts in building all of this, and it's essentially just like us doing like invite-only text chain stuff in the backyard and trying to like build community off of that, do fun art projects, and with that, we're trying to make like the festival something really cool, but also not lose our roots, which like we never want to be this like big production as far as like monetarily with like what you see in like giant festivals. We always want to maintain our like grassroots origins and connective tissue.
Secret Garden started out as like a backyard networking event where artists could come to, not just play their hype music, but to get to share like a different side of their artistic vision for their project and whatnot.
True.
And not making them like the center point of the actual event itself, right? Like, not so much elevator music, but definitely not standing front and center stage, right in the center, everyone look at me, I'm the person you came to see. In actuality, it was more of like, we wanted artists to come in, like Brenden said, but kind of piggybacking off that, creating music that was more enticing for connecting and like whatever. So we had like a lot of like organic based artists come in and just do like, maybe like a hypey guy came in and do like a really organic set, something as chill and just left field as possible, something that like drew attention but didn't take the air out of the room. And ultimately, like, I know like honestly, Secret Garden was what made myself and Max and Chad and Brenden as close as we are today. Like, that was kind of my introduction to their entire friend group. But ultimately just trying to encapsulate, even in a small backyard, something that is just have felt collectively is missing from the industry, which is just, just for instance, you go to some of these smaller venues in Denver, and there's not really a space that's created by the event space itself or by the community, unfortunately, anymore, for connection. Not so naturally, right? Like, try going to the black box and striking up a conversation in the middle of the pit. They're gonna look at you like you have 10 heads and like shut up, please. Like, don't.
I also think like in today's day and age too, like I feel like a lot of the events are being run by big corporations and promoters and whatnot. And I think something that's special about Badger is that all of us here are artists, and that's our passion. And so having a festival that's made by artists for other artists is like really kind of what we strive to do.
Ultimately, yeah.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on that point as well, like, there's time and place for everything, and like I love big festivals and big productions and hyphy shows and stuff. I personally just felt there was like a void for something different, like creative expression that's not in the confines of what's to be expected. And so me personally as an artist, I transitioned from like playing a lot of bangers to wanting to maybe more experimental and like color outside the lines a bit, and there wasn't too much of a time and place for that. Like I noticed like some people when they go out to party at clubs and stuff, they just want to get down, and that's totally cool. But at the same time, with Secret Garden, we really took the liberty to like, hey, like let's experiment, let's have fun. There's not going to be like people who get upset for everyone talking and making friends, because me personally, like how I've made all my like closest friends in my life is from going and having cool conversations and connecting over the music, but also connecting as people and finding different ways to do that. So I mean, what that means is the question that I think I'm continuously trying to answer with this project.
Yeah.
I want to jump in as a little sidebar and say, one of the major things as the elder of the group here was that we realized Max and I were not getting any younger, and going out to the afters to get after this kind of stuff and network is really hard the older you get, and you don't want to have to constantly do that in order to stay relevant. And so we actually ran our event in the backyard 3:30 to 9:30 on a Sunday monthly, so that people could still get to work the next day.
Love that.
And it was really great. Like all of our attendees would stay and help us break it down. So what we took all day to put up, it was down in 4 minutes, and we could go to bed too.
And also, not once did we get the cops called on us. We had neighbor, like, not only approval, but like almost appreciation. And they were very much like, took, quote unquote normie, esque. They weren't necessarily like within the community that we are, portraying or even adjacent. They were very much just normal, everyday people. And honestly, I think our approach of being like, hey, y'all, not trying to like, we're really ultimately, that isn't our goal, is not to just like blast a bunch of dubstep and have a party. The whole idea was to be, I know, right? Well, and like kind of, circling back a little bit to what he was saying before, is like these big fests, they're always going to be here. There's always going to be a Lost Lands adjacent. There's always going to be a whatever, right? The multi-tens of thousands. Now, we watch some big ones go away. This is, I mean, you want to talk about an industry within an industry within an industry. Try throwing a festival. Like, you know, it's like, it's certainly not something that's like...
And then try throwing like a left field bass
yeah,
oriented
exactly.
fest,
That's
like
what I'm saying.
even
Like,
smaller
where
niche.
we are
Yeah.
is such like the like tiniest like morsel of grain of sand, but the reality is like again, there just isn't enough of that. And as big and as much space as those festivals, those big fests, the big whatever, as much space as they take up, there will always be space for something like us to exist. Ultimately, I know that we've had long conversations about this, the why that like you continuously search for. I think what I continuously come back to is the community part of it, which is as hard as it's been for us to do this, when we're done with this, hopefully, like, you know, we had some like talks about what we've done in the community about like paving neighbors' roads and stuff. Like, literally what this is like, we're just trying to pave it so that the next people, you know, we're not taking like a Sonic Bloom spot, but like we've heard that like in a little bit of the bubble of people comparing us to kind of like essentially our energy is filling that void that them leaving the space has left. This, we're going to try to do this as long as we can. Forever is until tomorrow. That's something I've learned as growing up, right? But whenever this does end, hopefully that there has just been this entire foundation laid out so the next person can really just go, like, we dug the literal foundation, now like someone else can go build the building in 20 years if that's what it is, right? And that person might be someone that we pass it to. It might still be within family. The goal is just to make sure that it's still here. Right.
I just want to say that's so on point. You know, the first conversation before it was ever called Secret Garden, Max and I ever had was that what if we just built the community that we need and that we want? We didn't charge any cover either for these events. We just put all of our money in and said, what if we just did it?
Yeah,
what would happen?
Food and drinks, everything.
And honestly, what
Terrible
happens is you
business
get a
plan, by the
festival.
way.
Do not recommend
Every time, though,
to burn.
you make
You
the
know,
festival.
that continues even into the actual festival too. I mean, we've taken those exact vibes from Secret Garden of like, you know,
It's
we're
just
just
a
going to round up
backyard.
all of our homies. This is just a backyard fest. Anybody who wants to help, that's passionate about
in
it,
the
can
desert
come help.
now, but it's the
you know,
backyard still,
yeah,
you
we
know?
brought our community out, and now this is just kind of like what we're all doing for fun, trying to make it work. So, and also just like a testament to show that like you don't need to be like a big promoter backed by a bunch of money to like make something cool happen in the community. That you and your friends through like actively being motivated can make some cool shit happen.
No, you can
We will
persuade
never
your
sell out.
friends
This
with
will
a lot
always
of
be a
money to
homie
help
fest,
you
period,
out
the
on
end
your
forever.
Physical endeavors.
And ever.
You can owe them your whole life, basically.
But even like that's something I loved. So last year was my first year at Badger.
Great year.
My
to
first
come.
festival ever, also, which was super fun. Yeah.
Where's the air horn for that?
I know. Can we get a little air horn? Yeah, and something that I loved that you guys were super upfront about, like, we're a smaller fest. Like, payment is hard with these kind of things. We're just trying to, like, build a community right now. We're just trying to, like, this is the start of something that could be super fucking cool. And if you're down to be on board and contribute what you can, then, like, we're down to see if, like, where we can place you in this, like, little
Well, and build
fucking
together,
thing.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Same
the
deal
whole
for
model.
everyone.
You know, like I said, the Secret Garden goes through where it's, you know, it's really hard to do these things when you're like mapping it out, and so like it's truly blind faith and optimism is a lot of this stuff, and we're just hoping that like enough people believe in the dream to keep it alive, and so far that's where we've gotten with it. And so with that said, I mean, like, you know, we hope in the long run that like things become more self-sustaining, but you know, look at the progress. I think like it speaks for itself, where like, hey, if people are motivated, they got the dream, we just come together, like we can do something cool.
It is a total mute point and insanely adjacent, but it's a part of just this like idea that like, you know, hey, if you see what we got cooking and you want to get in where you fit in, right? Like our whole mantra, like the entire like mission statement for Secret Garden, and what's carried into Badger is grow with us, grow together, right? Like we are literally in an infancy of this grandiose idea that has had a almost millennia of like planning to get to just this infancy, right? And so like something with this, and like we talk about this a lot in our internal, you know, meetings and conversations, where it's like we are literally a family. We already were before this, and we are way more indebted now with one another, to the point where like it is a living, breathing thing. And it's our Discord is like it's something I go back to a lot. We have like 300 and something, 70 something people in the Discord. that's more tickets than we sold last year. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just the proof's in the pudding. And I know, like, you know, Chad can speak to this a lot because he's definitely like the more like tech wizard side of like the numbers side of things. But
it's insane, you guys.
The outreach is unbelievable. It's
the blow up after last year, the outreach, people interested in helping us. We're having a hard time keeping up with it. Honestly, like we need admin help so that we can keep up with this kind of stuff.
Right.
You know, one of the big things was our blind ticket drop. I want to thank anyone who might be listening who bought pre-sale tickets before we dropped a lineup. Man, we sold about 10 grand that day.
Damn.
That's almost, you know,
and just
1/3 of what we made the entire year.
Hit on the
last year.
financials too, like
Right.
you know, we are very much of the mentality like if you build it, they will come. And you know, last year we started this festival with $0 and
zero infrastructure.
Zero infrastructure
That's
as
the
well.
biggest
That was the
point.
big thing is we just had an empty plot of land, and
Off-grid.
you know, we're thinking of it
CDJs.
as like, hey, we have this blank canvas, like let's build something cool on there. But that only gets built if you know the community believes in our shared vision, which you know. Fortunately, we came through last year. You know,
and
maybe
that's
at a negative, but
Hey, listen. But that was like something. I mean, I came in physically at the time, was coming in a little late for last year, but the idea of like, all right, if anyone knew like the original Badger Base Camp, you knew it was like basically a sound system, a canopy, and some CTJs.
yeah,
Which, listen,
I mean, barely even a canopy.
and
I mean,
barely even
year
that.
one, it
Like,
wasn't even permitted.
Yeah, exactly.
Year two, it was literally just a sound
Someone's
system in the middle of the
canopy,
field.
you have to get out.
And then the
Exactly,
canopy
so-
was blowing away on stage, and it was on top of, you know, on the back of a bus.
I remember.
And, you know,
So-
there were no other amenities, and
So-
now we finally got stage. You know, we have water, we have, you know, a
the things
nice
that we
fancy
had
permit.
this year, I
Yeah.
think even just from last year to this year, but think about year one to now, like, it's an unbelievable difference. And like, I wasn't a fan. I didn't go at the time. Like, I wasn't necessarily like, aware of the event at the time. I've only lived here for about 4 years, so it's been cool to be a part of something and to build something so new to this area, because like it's crazy to think that like the base capital of our country has no good festival.
Yeah, and that's
Well,
one
you
of the
know
reasons.
what?
That's one of the reasons
Consistently.
why Badger started, because
Exactly.
you know, when me and Andrew were looking at it year one, we were basically like, okay, like Sonic Bloom is canceled, that's not happening again. Arise isn't happening again,
Envision
and
is
then
moving
yeah,
on, yeah.
you know, and then even the other local Colorado festival, something different, that also wasn't happening again. So we were in like a prime spot. Oh boy, party foul.
No, you guys are good.
Where's the sound
Are
emote?
you good?
Quick, hit a sound bite. But yeah,
yeah,
we
yeah.
could talk on that point forever. But I mean, ultimately, I think the consensus of the whole thing is that it's all about the community. That's why this is happening. This is why we continue to do this. Honestly, like this year was a testament to that. Like the reach.
None of us make money is the first thing. No one's got paid for this. We've all, honestly, every one of us comes out of our
God.
pocket. We lost a ton of money last year.
Chad, tell them how much you've been working these last couple weeks, dude.
16 hours a day for 5 weeks.
And
Holy
keep in mind,
shit.
none of the
And I mean, I
production
don't want
crew
to
is
like
actually
sob
getting
story,
paid
but
for
I've gone
this.
through all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff. I've had losses
This
in
is
the
all
family
because
this
we
year.
like
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not
Every
slowing
day,
down. This is the dream. We're
year
doing
round.
it. You know?
Yeah.
I just
And-
think it just grows. I don't know. Even to us, I mean, we have like daily, weekly, monthly epiphanies
Yeah, I mean,
of like.
at this point this year, we've been meeting every Tuesday for pretty much the last year since the end of the festival.
And that's
So
as a
that-
group.
Yeah,
That's
that's
just
as a group. That's not even including all the
Tuesdays are a
freaking
great day to
people.
meet.
You know, all
To
the
come
nights
to a
that
meeting.
me, Max, and Tigger stay up on Discord, just shooting ideas back and forth with each other.
Hours.
So
Last night.
My girlfriend loves it.
last night, yeah, me and Max pulled like a 16-hour day yesterday. On Discord, just
And that's
making graphics.
that's a frequent though. That's a frequent. And
A
because
frequent thing,
The
yeah.
idea is like, okay, if we want to be taken seriously and we want people to look at us and go, oh, that's not a rinky dink, whatever. This is we say we're a festival. We want people to go and go, whoa, that was like actually a festival. And so we've literally put in. It is not easy to all live in Denver
we're all amateurs
and drive
striving
to
to be
Hartselle
professionals.
and actually
Yeah.
build stuff and like shout out Joel and Garrett.
Yeah.
Big time. Shout out
time.
Joel and
Big.
Garrett.
They are
Yeah.
stage building.
They've
and
been out there the
builder
last couple weeks on the
maniacs.
weekends, just putting
So
in the
that's
work.
for
Oh,
everyone
they're
listening.
already prepping stuff up there.
Yes.
They
Oh,
are, yeah.
year round.
They're already
Oh,
prepping stuff
wow.
up there.
I mean,
so-
like, you got to understand, like,
Oh,
nothing survives
shit.
in Hartselle in general,
So-
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
brutal as hell out there. And so it takes so much work just to, like, make this, it's off-grid in one of the most inhospitable inhospitable places in Colorado,
Shout
the
out
high
Rob and
desert.
Dan.
Yeah, and so
They
like
live out there.
literally,
Literally.
like without the people who just like believe in this shit and are willing to like show up,
Put
like
themselves through living in heart soul to make our
Right.
dream
So-
come true.
Also, not for nothing, all of our materials, almost all of them, are reclaimed materials. We're not buying stuff. Our
Oh,
team,
that's a great
Garrett,
point.
Dufresne,
Garrett
and Joel,
just
they
goes
go
out
out
and
and
finds things on
got
Facebook
so much
Marketplace.
free stuff on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
And by the way, our community in Discord has brought us all kinds of stuff.
Absolutely.
We want more of that, honestly. We're looking to expand, and we want to grow the
Yeah.
team and make
I
this
think-
part of the festival. It's
Chad,
like,
you
hey,
bring
we're
up
trying
a-
to do this thing really grassroots. We're never going to sell to AEG. We're never going to sell to Insomniac. This is something
is our
for
baby.
the group. We did that because we're tired of it. Like, Max and I would never.
well,
Yeah.
We own
that's the
enough, they
vision,
can't have it,
like
you guys. It's never
upcycling,
happening.
and like that's what I kind of meant earlier about like big production stuff. Like we're trying to do it cool, but not lose our original flavor. We're like, yeah, we like upcycle
the
cool shit, and
backyard.
it has its
Exactly.
like unique vibe. Yeah, and like you know we can still like do it cool and big, but it's something that like money can't buy. It's like pure from like the love of the grind on Facebook Marketplace and the community.
Exactly.
So-
So speaking of which, do you guys want to segue into some of the new things that we have coming to the festival this year?
Absolutely.
Some of our
Oh
new
yeah,
things that
what's
we've been working on?
the new stuff?
So much stuff.
The new
bro.
exciting stuff.
Brenden,
this
let
year.
us
What do
have
we
it,
got?
dude.
What do we got?
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like one of the biggest thing is we have more shade now. So we have
like 800
three,
times more.
yeah,
Get
three
that air
30 by
horn ready.
30 canopy structures and
Many
two-
domes, actually.
yeah,
Additional
many
domes.
additional domes. We have an art gallery this year. We're gonna have a lounge that people can walk through, and the lounge is gonna be where this podcast is gonna be held.
Cool.
So
Yeah, I mean, shade, misters, water,
Yeah, the misters,
proper
too.
medical, which, by the way, shout out to them. They're actually not just like a regular festival medic. They're like a free clinic that operates. And so, like, if you have ailments that you are not able to get tested due to the insurance debacle in the country, come out to Badger, you know? You can...
Yeah, you can get labs done. It's Four Corners Medical Clinic. I
solving
want to
the American healthcare crisis.
Yeah,
One
Amy
festival at a
is
time.
there.
Exactly.
What a wonderful partner for us. That was a big part
Yo,
of
she
our
just
decision
kind of
this
hit
year.
us up, and really, it was just like, I believe in y'all, like, and really, honestly, has made it financially
That's a good
feasible to
question,
get some
too.
good.
While we're on
medical-
about it, I think we have to shout out pretty much everyone who's coming out to do really cool stuff for us at low cost or even free, like our media team, our VJs, a lot of our artists. We put out
And that
applications.
ties
I think we
into
should say-
Jacob's question here.
Yeah,
Is,
I
what
appreciate
are
it a
ways that?
lot.
Here, Caleb.
Yeah, Caleb,
here,
go for it.
I'll read it. What advice do you have for DJs/producers that want to perform at the festival like yours?
So-
He's English.
Well, we were
by the
talking
way.
about the other
We're
one,
talking
but
about the other
we
one.
can
We
we can
will come back
segue
to
to
that
that.
question.
Oh, hilarious! I didn't get to see the other one. Hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, second question. What are ways that you are including other arts in the festival besides music?
Love that.
He's English too.
I mean,
by the way.
just last night I
Yeah,
sent
Max.
out
I mean,
22
Chad-
acceptances to live painters to come paint at our festival, which is a huge percentage, honestly,
Yeah, that's
by the
sick.
number of people that are coming to the festival.
We had like 2
Our
last year.
capacity is
Yeah, right,
600,
right.
so
22
that's a
is crazy,
large
yeah.
number of painters to person.
And quite a
we'll
few
have an
flow
art gallery there as well.
performers, too. So
I was gonna
Yeah,
say the
huge number.
The fire last year was so sick. All the
Bringing
fire
it back,
flow
bringing
stuff.
it back. Yep.
That
Shout
was the
out
first time I'd
Alex.
ever seen that in person. It was so
There's a
cool.
cool
Heirlooms.
backstory on that
yeah,
note.
we
but,
got really lucky with that too because we were supposed to be in Fireman last year, and it was on the last
Oh,
day of the
shit,
festival
right.
that the fire marshal came over and
He was very
lifted
impressed.
that
Light up the
Fireman. He was
floor.
very impressed
Here,
with us.
hold on,
So
I would love to-
we did things good.
I would love to shout out Heirlooms, Alex, on this.
Yeah,
He's
Alex.
honestly the
Chloe Steele as well.
professionalism of he
And
runs
Chloe.
our fire troop. It's he has his own fire troop, and they
Damn,
have.
it's a
And also
troop.
Chloe Stell, we have to.
Yep, absolutely.
Shout out this year. They'll be running it together.
They've really dedicated themselves to making this the most professional. I mean, it always was, even just in the backyard. We had them in our backyard because
Yeah.
in the backyard events, there's like a little concrete foundation of like what used to maybe be a shed or something. So it made really good sense to like have fire in our backyard. So we're like doing like dragon
Sick.
spinning fire
Yeah.
in our backyard in like Lakewood.
Yeah.
So like people are like, what the hell? And so again, like when we literally say it's the backyard, we basically just boom, boom, copy, paste, boom.
Right.
But yeah, no, the fire marshal was just so impressed with his safety protocols and like basically was just like, if this happens, I got this. If this happens, I got this. And the fire marshal, he made it impossible for the
Let's
fire
go.
guy to be like, all right, you guys get it. Because we also, he came day one, was like, no fire. And we
Sure.
were like, damn.
Sure.
Yeah.
Day 2, no fire.
Yeah, and that was right after we had like spent all that time building that
A fire.
building
30
a
by
fire
30
station.
gravel
So-
Yeah.
ring, literally
It was
taking the
not cheap.
excavator, digging up because there's
But-
bedrock. There's so much to that, but yeah, big challenge. To
Yeah.
Really big
that.
shout out to him. He spoke in favor of our permit this year, the fire chief. I called him in the middle of the festival last year and said, please come out and see what we're doing and make a decision. And he was kind enough to come do that. And he was really, really impressed. And he's been a friend of the festival ever since.
That's huge.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say, just to move on in that same question, though, I mean, beyond fire and painters.
We also
and
have arealist coming this year too.
absolutely. I was going to say, we have
Yeah.
airlists, we have pole dancers, we have, like,
Let's go.
Yeah, there's, like,
Sick.
The rebrand was, like, obviously a collaborative effort, but if it wasn't spoken about, it was something that was, like, probably one of, like, my top things I wanted to talk about was because having bass in the name just put us in such like a a box, and we're just so much more than bass music.
The issue
you know?
really was that it was called had Bass Camp in the name, and there's another festival in
Cease and
Nevada
desist.
that has is called
Yep.
Bass Camp.
Correct.
So technically, we had to change the name this year regardless. And
Yeah.
originally, we were going to call it Camp Badger.
And then
So-
Camp Alderwilders.
Yeah, and then
they
Camp
were like,
Alderwild
hey,
reached out
don't be
because
afraid.
we were trying to book some of their artists
Really?
to play at our festival.
Yeah,
They're
it's
like,
like, hey,
they're
I
like,
have
why
to
are you
say
guys
something about
called
this. They
Camp
were actually
Badger?
so
They were
kind.
like, should we change
Camp
it? They were
Alderwild
like,
reached out to us, and they were so kind. They were like, hey.
Absolutely. No, they
Yeah,
were.
yeah,
they
totally.
were like.
They talked to us.
like,
They were like, actually, you know, we just ran into this situation, and we want to be really supportive of you, and we're just having trouble with camp this, camp that, and dates so close.
Well, I think it
and
was
it's hard for us
funny-
to talk to artists about it. And they really like
Yeah,
kind
I
of took us
suppose.
under their shoulder,
That's
and we're like
fair.
I think
really
it was
nice
funny
about
because
it,
when
yeah.
we were emailing back and forth with them, we're like emailing about. I'm not going to say the name, but it was a really big artist in their kind of chain of people over there, and it was almost happening. And so they were actually being like, all right, we're going to do business with these little guys over here. You know, in in like perspective, you know, they're obviously way more massive than where we are right now, but where they definitely considered us. They gave us the respect that I didn't honestly expect from them, and that wasn't like a personal thing. It just, you know, big fish, little fish. If it was what it felt
Sure.
like, and they gave us such a level playing field and respect within the emails, and they were like, "Hey,
They really took
also,
care of us,
what's
yeah.
up with that name?" Like that's basically how they said it. It wasn't even like, "Yo, you guys
Right.
got to change that." It was like, question.
The
Like,
reality is we can't have the full conversation. They let
Yeah.
us know some things that
for sure.
were reasons why we should do the things, and we listened to them.
It
They're really
worked
great
out.
guys
No,
about
it
it.
worked
Sure.
out perfectly
And
for
it
this
really
exact
did. They
reason.
were. It was excellent business advice. You know, all bow down to those guys that do that. Really thankful to them.
But like Badger Music and Arts Festival, I mean, we've hit a lot of the points here, but ultimately, it's the community is like probably one of the biggest parts of the arts part of this whole thing. Not only do we have like a vendor row, we like are trying to not have like the same like 5-6 vendors that are at like every show in town too. Like as much as we try to keep it like homey collectively, whatever, but like we're also trying to give people opportunities that don't get opportunities. Like some of our food trucks are super like random and like, but they've also kind of like shout out Mexicana. They're-
Mile High Mexicana.
Dude, they're
Let's go.
they've been with
Yes.
us since,
Yeah.
since our year
Definitely
one,
get
since
their
last
tacos
year.
at the festival
Dude,
this year.
their food is
They're fire.
insane, and they also
sold out
love
last
EDM.
year.
Yeah, they also helped us feed some of our artists last year too, which was a
they were,
big
they were
help
like,
for us.
Absolutely.
"Can I give tacos to import for free?" And I was like, "He would
Yeah.
love that."
Yeah, he would lose his mind.
She
Are you
literally,
kidding me?
she was like
Tacos. It's
crying,
one of his
giving
favorite
hugs.
things, actually.
But just to touch on the general question for a second here, I mean, I of course want to do like all the like regular festival stuff and then get super creative with it, and we have great examples of that. I mean, like health and wellness and maybe some workshops and interactive features. But a big thing that was really a personal goal of mine as a burner is I think like the kind of avant-garde art stuff and trying to see what we can get away with in the county
like
with
this.
Colorado. We got
Explosions.
7 theme camps this year, which are essentially like Burning Man style, like by attendees
Good segue.
in the festival grounds into creating like an experience that is immersive. And we had a really good response from the community about that, and we picked 7 of them, and now that's like half of our campgrounds last year when we were planning on doing like art gallery and maybe some stuff there. We now have designated 2 of these theme camps to where when we have to shut down our stages because of noise ordinance, that is like the highlight of the festival, is going exploring all these theme camps,
Right,
interactive
right.
They're, like
activities.
off at the distance too. Like we have a decent a chunk of land that we work with, and we really just we used like 8% of it last year. So
Right.
this year
Right.
we're
I
using.
was always wondering how much. Yeah.
So
We're gonna
just
fill that up.
For
Cool.
for
Yeah.
literal
Cool,
logistic
cool.
stuff though, I'll say that we are
A
on
50-yard dash.
we are on the edge of our property, where the like, because it is like some of the best land, and just sonically to be able to avoid, some issues with neighbors.
Yeah.
And like, shout out neighbors. They are honestly, for the most part, like, there are some that we eat some gaff from like previous years, but at the end of the day, yeah, there's a lot of them that helped us build it, and I think that's really notable.
That's
too.
smart of them too.
And like, well, to be honest, we're doing it the right way. So at the end of the day, the way that we believe in this, it's gonna happen, whether you like it or not.
Right.
So, like, and we're willing to do whatever we gotta do. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, we'll pave your freaking driveway. Like, I don't care what it.
Shout out Rob.
Shout out Rob, dude. Rob
Shout
is
out
like,
Rob.
yeah, he is.
It's our site.
He's our site ops director. He
and-
also lives up there, man.
Oh, nice.
Which is, by the way,
agent
one
for
of
the
the
business
main
and-
things why this is able to happen. So Rob's been like out in Hartselle, staying out of a camper with his wife for 5 years, and becoming friends with all these people.
That's
doing so
insane.
many things, like helping
Shout
them
out.
move, and like like paving road, like
The
literally so
political
much.
command work.
Can I
He
share a
goes-
funny story about Rob too?
He's
Absolutely.
also got us the permit.
Yeah,
he
so
did
the
that
way
by
that
himself.
Rob actually found us too is because he was actually competing for the same land that Badger is on when he was trying to move out there.
Yeah.
And he ended up getting the plot next to Badger, and then was scrolling on his phone one day and saw that oh hey, there's a Google Map pin for a music festival that's on the plot right next to mine.
Like, what the hell? Yeah.
Then he got involved, and now he's our site director and does so
He's
much
insane
background
without-
work.
It's unbelievable.
That's
like,
great.
That's crazy as well.
On our permit
What a find.
county board meetings, like, he's the one that goes in the suit and tie and goes in and represents us as a village. He goes in there and does like the really not fun talks, like, some of the worst. I'd say some of the two worst jobs on the docket of jobs within Badger Music and Arts Festival is booking in general.
Yeah. It's
just
tough.
overall, and whatever the hell Rob does.
Yeah, I mean, Rob also is responsible for taking care of the porta potties,
Yeah.
the trash, establishing
Anything that you would
medical
need for a
contracts.
He
permit,
gets down and
basically.
dirty.
Anything for the
Literally.
permit, he's on top of.
Yeah, he's
so.
he's the local guy. He's getting all
100%.
the
He's our
local
community outreach.
And he represents
director.
the community
Yeah.
too, and like he truly cares. Like, I think we got a little bit of guff from the first 2 years where it was kind of disregarded.
He's also
for-
a shaman.
Yeah, right. No, I mean, for some who know it, like I think it was first year, like the neighbors came out with shotguns and was like, "Shut this shit down."
Well, and they were also doing it, and listen, this is neither here nor there. They were also doing
The real
it
cowboys out
not
there,
as
for real.
not
Yeah.
as like permittable and legal as we've gone about it. We've gone about it in a way of like, listen, we understand what happened before. That's not this. Give us a chance to show you that that's not this. We know
Right.
we know what we're doing.
Right.
No, we don't. Don't tell them. No, to an extent, we like combined. We have decades of experience of being in shows or throwing them, of all regards. And the idea is that we want this to benefit the community of Hartselle, and it will, and has, and it will only continue to. The more that every inch they give us, we're able to give a mile back.
We've got like 3 vendors from Hartselle coming this year. We had a few last year. A number of the people are reaching out. They have discounted tickets for sure. Anyone from Park County in general, if you
Well, and I
reach
think
out.
also something to add to a lot of people don't know this. One of the biggest reasons that festivals do not last in Colorado is because of something that happened in 1991 in Dillon. There was a huge crowd crush, and a lot of people got injured and unfortunately lost their lives at a festival that happened in Dillon in 1991, I believe. And it wasn't, it wasn't an EDM show
Right.
or whatever. It was a rock concert, but like, this is a tale oldest time, right? The festival shuts down because there's a crowd crunch. It's like a mass, issue event. So they shut the festival down. So now you have like 45,000 people in the middle of the day of a festival where they were probably on some illicit behaviors, are unleashed into Dillon, which is not a big place.
No.
And like, it wreaked havoc on that place, and it has traumatized an entire generation of mountain folks. All right. And like, we're not even that close to Dillon, but it's just, it got brought up in the county meeting.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, it's like, this is exactly what happens. Like, and it's like something happens to someone you knew, or even happens to like someone like with arms ranked, and now forever you're going to tell your kids like, oh, don't do that because so and so. It's like, that's just that older generation mindset, unfortunately. And so honestly, I think, and Rob and I talked about it in private, but like, we realized the game that we were playing now. We are literally up against the boogeyman, and there's no like logical way to do this. So the best way we can do it is just, again, every
show
inch
and
they give
tell.
us, we give as much back as possible.
And to be valuable.
Look at this.
Right.
Yeah. To just, unfortunately, it's like what a lot of
It's
bad
good
parents
business,
taught their
you know?
kids.
Yeah,
You
of
know,
course.
show your value, and
This
that's
also
your
brings
worth.
up the
Well,
fact
care,
that we
you know?
own the land there.
But it works.
We do own the land, and so it's actually just good business for us to build
Absolutely.
up the
Of
community
course, you
around
are
us. It
now a
brings up
part of the
value
community.
the land, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's
we're
not just
we have
doing
to convince
something
them that we
like
are.
by
Even though we
supplication,
are.
like, oh, here you go. We're there all year. You know, we're
Right.
there year round. Rob is there year round. He's a part of the community.
We go up
We're
every
doing
weekend
all
we
kinds of stuff,
physically
right?
possibly can.
Well, and that's part of the juggle too. Is like, you know, there's two, I guess, separate communities. There's like, you know, obviously our music community out here, which has certain expectations and wants and desires, and then there's the opposite expectations and desires from the county, which, you know, we saw like Bloom and Arise and a bunch of other festivals. It's really hard to get a permit out here in Colorado, and it takes like trying to care and see it from both sides and communicate that between the parties. And there's way more than two equations that go into this formula, but nonetheless, like, that's the juggling act of trying to get this thing to exist in the first place.
Yeah, that's why we have to do everything by the books. You know, we can't take any shortcuts because
No.
we've seen that happen to other festivals and they're not around right now. So this is really important that we're following, you know, very strictly to what the permit lays out in terms of decibel levels for sound, like attendance, you know, like making sure that there's proper amenities for people and, you know, the
Trust
right
me,
number
we
of porta
talked about
potties,
pushing
so-
the limit, and we're definitely not going to.
Yeah.
Not at all.
It's not worth it because, again, we want Badger year 20. You
Yeah,
know,
this will
Ultimately,
stay a
that's the
homie fest
goal.
for a
Yeah,
while.
well, and
So
that's
I
the
will say,
goal.
like, as the safety director, that all of these things really do in some way fall under that purview. And, you know, I got years of experience working with the authorities, managing large operations that are a lot more dangerous and difficult than something like
Yeah.
a festival, frankly. So I feel that that's part of like what we can bring to be really valuable as a small thing that can be more stable with a community like this. Ultimately, getting the permit granted is a political thing that we have to do here, and so we just need to make sure that we know what it is they're facing, so that we can address those things through the year and just make sure that we have it. It's like you know, one of the things is we want to always be a homie fest, but part of that is being in Park County, we can only ever get up to 3,000. That's the law. So you're basically
Right.
locked into it. In our land, we probably do up maybe up to 2,500 is what we've kind of figured.
I mean, that's
we're nowhere near
that's
that.
massive.
That's
feel like
massive,
that
and
would be
that's
including
pushing it.
Rob's property,
You know,
too.
so
I
this
feel
would
like
be,
that's fine.
Yeah,
Seems
that's
like a
exactly
lot.
Right.
That's a
It's
good
a-
size.
Well,
What
and
do you think
it's
about
a-
that?
it's about
Yeah,
half
period.
of what
Yeah.
it's about half of what like so.
it's like a third of infra.
Shout out my friend Bobby. He's one of the operator
Third of infra. Okay.
Secret Dreams. You know, where they started almost a decade ago, which is crazy to think. They started off with like 2,000 people. You know, that's what they started with, you know. And I remember they were at about 7,000 people. And Bobby was like, I don't know if we want to get bigger than this, you know.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, and they were on Legend Valley land, you know, and they're only using like a quarter of it at the time. Now, obviously, they've gotten a, you know, injection from some major corners here, and that's, you know, they had the ability for it because they're on a piece of land that can grow, you know.
Yeah, right.
We don't have that. We have a ceiling, and we're very aware of it. And the reality of it is, I think the whole idea of like Secret Garden was it was a inclusive event that almost,
Right.
but that felt exclusive, right?
Right.
Well, and that's
so
the
it's
creative ceiling
invite
too.
only.
Like, how big can we get while still be in the backyard? You know.
Right, of
Exactly.
course.
So, like, for instance, like we had scavenger hunts. Every placement had a chess set so that people who like to play chess might
In the
play chess with
backyard,
each other
yeah,
in the
yeah,
backyard.
yeah.
We had a
Checkers
station
for
where
me.
you could make clay, and we had a contest for who made the best little clay thing, and then you could get a prize out of the prize chest.
We're bringing the prize chest to Badger
We're
this
bringing
year.
it out.
we're
This is
bringing
the
the prize
reveal.
chest. Okay, let's
Treasure
go.
chest, treasure
Yeah,
chest.
and you know, by the way, actually, we've been cutting together some footage of this lately, and we'll probably be releasing some of that soon.
Shout out Homemade Spaceship.
Yeah,
Came
shout out
in, did
Homemade
an
Spaceship.
all acoustic
Got a
loop set.
That's right.
Let's go. Big ups.
He literally just like played one song for like 3.5 hours, dude. It was insane.
Shout out Tigger. Actually, he sang on. He's got the voice of an angel. You guys
Let's go.
should
Yeah,
find
catch
that out
my
at some point.
set.
Yeah, truly the backgrounds of these boys too.
Angel.
I mean, like Chad gave up like a prestigious science career to be a wook with us. So you know, like take
Attaboy.
degree. I say it all the
He's got the
time.
hat to prove it.
Chemists, biochemists,
40,
microbiologists, classically trained violinist as well.
Brendan's
Yeah, let's
like
go.
a nuclear physicist. Tig was on Broadway. Like, you know, these
Yep.
dudes literally gave it all up for this fucking dream. So like, big shout out.
Rob's an electrical engineer too, so we got some smart cookies on our roster here.
And honestly, I mean, we weren't really talking about this, but start talking about our roster. Like some people that, you know, we'll shout out here in a little bit, but we've had a lot of people since last year to this year just be like, listen, I really like what you guys got going on. That's literally how we all became friends. So when I hear someone say something like that, and as long as it's followed up by action, that's the biggest thing within us, we'll always give you the opportunity to fall right in your face. If someone says they want to come do something for us, we will give them the opportunity. We're all about collaboration is the highest totem pole energy that there is. There is nothing higher. It's the top head up there. It's the the one with the, you know, with the eagle wings on it. But all I'm just saying is, like, at the end of the day, like, we will never shy away from someone being like, hey, I got this. Can I Absolutely.
If you got the recipe, we got the oven.
Absolutely.
That's what I've been saying.
There he is. Where's the one-liners?
And that's, but no,
Give him an air horn.
That's
I'm a rapper too, so you know what I'm saying.
It's real though. It's so real because when you think about it, like, again, the owned land, the you know, the community the size of a freaking entire family, you know, like we have things that are very unique and that are very rare and sought after, and we just happen to just have it. And we're blissfully aware of that. Yeah. And I think that really...
And thank God you guys are good people who aren't just trying to be shitheads and like take over this upcoming
I actually wanted to speak
underground
to that a
scene.
little bit. You know, as the administrator, it's kind of my job to be the glue person that goes around and deals with everyone. As anyone can imagine, the difficult thing that we're doing, especially at this time, there's tensions, right? But what we ultimately have is a bunch of people who, if there's ever a fight, it's 2 minutes later, they're coming in like, I love you, man. I'm so sorry. And so we have, Max and I actually live with everyone that we live with is Secret Garden. And we say that we have Max and Chad's house of recovering people pleasers and people who want to learn to do other stuff with too. And the reality is that everyone who is on our major team, and even most of the people that we've met on the extended team, are just a bunch of sweetie pies.
Right.
It's really what we got going on here. It's the best.
Well, and it's a juggling act too, because like we said, you know, with the county and our community, so like, you know, we have challenges. Like, you know, we got some time cut back from the county this year. Already we're running on like a shoestring budget, if any budget, for a lot of things. None of us are getting paid to do this thing. We're all just like living off the dream, and so trying to like, you know, communicate that is hard when, you know, it's lost in intention. A lot of these people like we like DM about and stuff. So like we really are hoping to like bring on as many people as friends and see it like, hey, the intention is pure in this. This is just the cost of entry.
Job. So like what you see and what you get, it feels very professional. Like someone has put in that venture capital budget into it. Like we have investors, but we don't. It's just a bunch of people have been doing it a really long time who care about it so much and are just putting everything in. So thank you to all of our supporters because we really need you guys.
Shout out. Big shout out. Couldn't do it without everyone.
I'd love to real quick, buddy. Would anybody be opposed to turning on the AC?
Not at all.
Please, God.
I feel like
I'm dying over here.
No, turn it on.
Yeah. And
this share shirt is actually pretty
under the lights. Yeah.
Pretty tough.
Okay. Sorry to all the listeners. There's going to be a little bit of background noise, but
it's not that bad.
We made it as long as we could.
I have the headphones on. It's really not that bad.
And it's not horrible.
I'm wearing a sweater, so that's my fault. But yeah.
No, that was literally what I was just gonna say. Was if we transition to like a kind of a booking question. I know that we were something you had asked was like, what was that question?
Yeah, do you want to read
what was that other question?
I'll read it.
The first one.
What advice do you have for DJs/producers that want to perform at a festival like yours?
Yeah. No, that's the one we were talking about because that was asked earlier, and I just wanted to like get back to that.
Yeah,
I think it's a good one.
Here, Brenden, you can.
So yeah,
because there's a lot of producers who watch this show. So
exactly. Yeah, and this is our whole festival too. Is it's all supposed to be like the local Denver scene, you know, putting on an event with some bigger artists to try to get traction for, you know, the locals and whatnot. But I wrote down some notes on this because we were kind of thinking like, you know, how do we help other people who have a lot of talent get booked for not just our festival but any festival in general, and that comes down to a few different things. First thing is obviously having good original music. We really prioritize original music.
Absolutely.
We love our DJs too, but
Amen,
you know,
brother.
we're really trying to put on people who are making the art themselves and displaying them, you know, in their own kind of way. And that's not to say that you can't, you know,
use
mix in
AI,
other
dude?
tracks. I mean, you know,
I'm a Suno producer.
That's a
dude.
different
original art.
podcast.
I'm a
That's whole
Suno
different
We don't
producer.
have time for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then second is like we also support artists that support artists.
Big
So
time.
you know,
True. Big time.
if you're supporting the event by volunteering, attending the pre-parties, offering to help with the build on site, or volunteering, that's a pretty good way to get noticed.
Just like a background comment on that really fast, like one sentence. Someone is always watching. Someone's always
watching.
listening.
Exactly.
So conduct yourself as such.
Yeah, and this is the thing too. Like what you say on Facebook, what people have to say about you
Chat's gonna
online
find it.
or in person. You know, we see those things in other venues and festivals. We'll see those things too. You know, if you carry yourself with pride and you are mature on the internet and you act as a good person in good faith, then people are going to see that. But you know,
have some
I'll be honest,
honor,
guys.
dude.
I don't want to bring the mood of the room down, but the reality is that in our scene, there's some troubles with, you know, all the drug use. I think is probably what's behind it. Honestly, that we can be honest about. That there's some domestic
Debauchery.
problems, assaults, both physical and sexual, and this is the kind of allegation that like there is absolutely zero tolerance for
Amen,
at
brother.
our festival. So like that's something that we're looking out for, and it matters
Yeah.
what people think about you.
we want to book
If-
people that are good people.
I'll be honest.
Right.
The
Yeah.
truth is, I've never met someone who, you know, 20 separated people who don't know each other were willing to say something bad about, who wasn't doing something that was inviting that. And so
Yeah.
whether or not you're guilty of this or that, we don't have time for the drama, right?
Right.
But just to get back to, I know you had another point there.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean that's pretty much that point on just being a good person, and you know, like if you really want to get booked for a festival, I mean, like go stay late for the event, ask the people setting up the event to, I mean, that's how I got booked for some of my first shows, was literally just showing up to the venue and being like, hey, do you guys need help tearing down? You know, just like making myself a member of the community,
Dude,
like forcefully putting myself in the
get
door.
in where you fit in, bro.
Yeah, get in where you fit in. So we all got our different strengths and whatnot.
Well, to touch on that too, like I think there's like, for me, there's like consumption and creation, and part of that is like, you know, it's not even like, you know, that DJs and producers, like there's creative avenues for both of them, but I think nonetheless, like if you're truly wanting to like create something, be part of things, like the law of reciprocity rewards you. Like be a good person, show up, be part of things, and like, you know, when I leave Denver, I'm reminded that like we are in a very niche pocket of subculture here, and that doesn't exist elsewhere. And it can sometimes go to people's heads if like I deserve this, I want this, I should be here. When the reality is like we are truly like a big extended friend group, if not family. And like the best way to ingratiate
Hey, what
yourself
at
with
that
that
risk?
is to just show up, like be cool.
Yeah,
Like people
exactly.
like want to put on nice people.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Also, if you're helping out, you know, with you're helping us build, or you're helping out with like some crucial task, you know, we're more likely to throw you a favor in the future, and I think that goes for all venues and festivals. The other point that I was going to bring up too is, you know, we talked about like having good music, being a good person, you know, helping out at different events and making yourself known. But metrics do matter. You know, at the end of the day, we are a business. Like we do need to sell tickets to make this happen. And something that Rob actually pointed out, which is interesting, if you take our whole production budget for each hour that we put somebody on, that costs us around like $600 to $700, basically. So, I mean, you know, having
Are
good
you
music is
worth
one thing, but you also need to
$600?
like bring your friends out to the event. You know, like as much as it sucks to say, like you can have really good music, but if people aren't showing up to your set or you're not selling tickets, then you may have a harder time getting booked.
To kind of piggyback off that a little bit, the metrics part of it all. You know, it is a tough market too. Specifically, we are in a niche market, but we're also artists ourselves. All of our friends are DJs. All of our friends are producers. All of our, you know what I mean? And all of our friends' friends are producers. And everyone's gas. Sorry. Hate to tell you. Everyone I know.
Everyone is so talented in
Everyone
their
is
own
so
way.
goddamn talented.
Especially
and
in
it's-
Denver.
And it's
Especially in
exactly,
Denver.
And,
Yeah,
and,
that's
and
for
it's
sure.
like, it's, and then let alone the fact that like, like Brenden and I and Max and chat, like we're very well traveled people. All right. Like I travel the country like quite often. And I know DJs all over the map. And while we do keep this as probably like 70 to 80, if not higher than 80% a Denver market, the reality is like we're gonna go where the talent is. Talent is 10%, but it's a heavy 10%. And so it's like ultimately like yes, we're gonna try to funnel and find where that Venn diagram crosses over of like yes, talent and ability, but also a drive, culture, community. Like where do you lie in that, right? And then, but even that is also only a part of the entire booking method.
Yeah.
That's
So
the sustainability effort. I feel like overall, like we want to keep the vibes of the backyard, let people experiment, create. We want to put on people that are dope artists and give them that limelight to be able to have a platform, career, or however far they want to take it. In order to do that, like we got to get enough hype to where people just come out to buy tickets to artists they don't know and the experience.
Exactly.
And so like the
Yeah.
more people like build this thing with us, the more we have the option to do that, which is truly what we want. Like honestly, I don't give a fuck
And
about
that's going
someone.
to take time though too, ultimately. And
Yeah.
that's, you know, and it's something that we've had even our own inner discussions and you know, small battles about it, because ultimately, yes, like we have an idea of what we want this festival to be. but it can't just be like 100% implemented all at once, because the reality of like getting that hype to the point, we're not selling out on the blind sale, you know. When we start selling 50% plus of our festival on the blind sale, then we can start curating and giving other people opportunities that maybe on paper they may not quote unquote deserve or whatever, but like because we sonically know, or like whatever, like,
or we just see them working hard.
Exactly.
So Tigger, to that point, I wanted to ask you, because like I feel like you could elaborate on this, because you're like our metrics guy. You know, you came out here and you're like, we need to figure out a way to systemize this, to figure out, you know, how do we I mean, everybody is so talented. Like at the end of the day, there needs to be some sort of like hard, you know, decision on like where do their metrics stand. So would you like to talk on like
I think
what metrics do we look at, and what can somebody do to improve those
exactly
metrics?
And I think that ultimately answering the exact question, like what can I do to and I'll just tell you what I look for. Back in theater, my ultimate goal after being a performer, I wanted to be a casting director. I personally love watching people give it their all for 30 seconds, or, you know, whatever it may be. If it's a submission or a mix, whatever, I love it. I think it's so awesome. Human beings are so cool and so creative, which is why AI will never win. No, I mean, it's you know, the reality. I'd love to see AI do this, and then
never use AI.
brother.
me picking a snare for 11 hours, you know. But whatever. Ultimately, what I look for is there is a slight amount of conformity in being an artist. There are non-negotiables. There are things that are black and white. One of those things, your EPK. I want to see a professional, a CV EPK. Like I want, like
What is this?
What is an EPK?
No. Well, sure.
Yeah.
But also, like, explain what your perfect EPK
absolutely.
looks like.
I mean, Max has a really good point on this, but ultimately, like, the first sentence of your EPK should literally be what, like, as if I'm a booking agent or I'm a talent buyer, I should be able to, in the first 2 seconds of your EPK or resume, whatever, I should be able to know exactly what I'm buying. I should know. Like,
well, and there's a couple different things. So like Tig, Brenden, and I are the booking team, and we all have different things that we look at. But I think what is the common point between all of it is, like Brenden said, it costs us money to put people on, even if they're donating their sets. And so like it's like we want to sonically curate as best we can, and we try to build that into the equation as well. But the truth is, like, how much are we willing to financially risk on filling that slot with you versus somebody else, and like how much do we feel like people are going to come see you, whether they just fuck with your music heavy and that streams, whether like you're more on the marketing side and you're like, you know, someone who people are just really excited to engage with whatever you do because they like you.
'Cause, I mean, we even have some artists this year that are coming that maybe don't have the best followings on SoundCloud and Spotify, but their Instagrams are killer. You know, or even vice versa, where they have no Instagram at all, but they have fire
or they
music
have no SoundCloud at all. Like,
or,
I mean,
just like
okay.
No
Here's
Spotify.
I'm gonna use her as an example.
Yeah.
She's one of our last additions to the festival. Jilly, shout out. She is crushing the scene right now. She has 1,000 followers on SoundCloud, but she has like.
Like 22K or
on
something.
Instagram,
playing Mission Ballroom and things like that. You know?
She's literally playing Shambhala right now. Like, she's crushing it, and it's not because of any one thing. She's just crushing it. But if we just go by one thing, right? If we just go by her SoundCloud, which a lot of like the old head kind of look of it is SoundCloud, you know, was kind of like the thing because it couldn't really be like interrupted or like you couldn't really infuse it.
That's a whole tangent now, but
we're not gonna go deep into it because it literally is a whole other conversation. But the reality is that unfortunately a lot of these metrics on their own, they just don't hold the weight. So that's why I said talent is 10%. So and that includes your following, your social media, all that stuff. What I'm looking for is consistency.
That is the biggest crack to the whole game. And by the way, like, I truly believe, like, people, if you make good music, then it's just a matter of getting them to listen to it, and like that is a huge part of the like it's a heavy 10%, but I wouldn't necessarily give it that figure. I'd give it like, if you want to have people fuck with your music and come out and see you, first step is like have it be an enjoyable entertainment experience, but then like you're no longer just an artist, you're an entertainer, and that comes with a whole can of worms. And so it's all these things build into one. That's why it takes a whole team.
One line to share, which is that, you know, my grandfather told me this. It's one of my great things that I follow. It's a mantra, and that's, you know, 90% of life is showing up.
Yeah.
And so, and that's every day,
that's
guys.
Where the 10%
so it's just
comes from,
that consistency that he's talking about. That's where it comes from. And, you have to be willing to confront with the fact that this is a business, and that in order to do music, you have to do all of the other things that are attached to music as well. As a classically trained violinist who had full rides to Juilliard and all over the place, I walked away from it because I didn't want to take on that other part of it that I understood was there. And so that's how I ended up in science, because I was more interested in that as a whole, right?
Yeah,
All these platforms too are algorithmic too. So I mean, when you're talking about consistency, like these are only things that are going to help you. I mean, like Instagram, YouTube, you know, SoundCloud, Spotify, all these things are looking at how often you're posting.
And also,
you know, we're looking at that too.
If you, I was gonna say, if you think we're not looking, we really are.
And
of course,
we were spending like
everybody's always
literally,
looking.
like, we're insane about it.
And
Like,
also
I will
this-
literally go and look at. We have a literal algorithm, like metrics program where we equate
Let's
like
go.
your Instagram likes and comments and whatever. And I went through and individually for every single artist on the lineup and also potential artists, and we were just looking, and it was like, okay, this person is lower on the metrics than we really thought, but again, talent's only 10% in my kind of perspective of it all.
Right.
The other 90% is your personability, your workability, like the culture part, the community part. Like, what are you doing to make yourself better, not only as an artist but as a person, and also like for us, like I think it's like 60% of this lineup is we're within like an arm's length away of these people, whether we're friends literally or they're friends of friends. Like, we've put a lot of faith in like our intermediate community, and so
This is
like
our Rolodex.
that's
for
why
sure.
that's why
Yeah.
the metrics does come in to play so heavy for us when it does come down to some of these game time decisions, because to make this as fair as possible, bro, when someone's like, bro, you're my homie, what, I'm like, shut up. I have like 50 other friends on here.
Yeah.
Like, don't do not make me fight over who's worth what, because I'll tell you what, I'm gonna pick whoever didn't make me fight.
Exactly.
You know?
I'm gonna
Like,
pick the guy who wanted to
Yeah.
come out and said and already understood that I didn't have to tell this to. I'll be honest, like the guy who gets booked for the main stage at Electric Forest is the guy who opens the festival and no one is at his set the year prior.
Right.
And I, by the way, I've seen that happen. I'm not gonna name names, but I've
I
literally
mean,
seen
Wooly
that
talked
shit
about this, dude.
happen.
It's the time you put in.
And it's also, like he said, personability. That guy showed up, they gave him the worst set in the whole festival, and he did his job, and he said thank you.
Yeah. So, Chad, I
He
think
walks
another
away.
good thing to bring up, too, is also not like, you know, how do you get booked, but also if you do get booked, how do you continue to keep getting booked? And, like, one of the other things that we look at is, like, are you sharing the flyer? Are you promoting the event that we're, you know, risking everything on to book
It's
you
a
for?
new age.
You know, if you want to keep getting booked, you know, you also got to show some respect to the people that are putting that on, even if you don't necessarily agree with your set time or what may be it, you know.
Well, and by the way, we had people that we put on just out of like pure belief more than metrics before, and you know what, they like really believed in the thing. Everybody has friends here as an artist. They really showed up and took it seriously and were grateful for the opportunity. They brought a bunch of friends out and hey, you know what, we believe in your project, you believe in us, this is a symbiotic relationship, and we continue to put them on. So like it's truly like that is a big part.
We've had artists with tens and tens of thousands of followers just completely poop the bed. So
Yeah.
it's like it doesn't really matter what you're following. You know what I mean?
We're,
Like,
we're a lot
it's-
more likely to book people that were easy to work with, that were humble, that, you know, we're really, you know, grateful for the opportunity. And I feel like this kind of leads into our next point too, which is not being a diva too. I mean, if you want to get booked for, you know, any festival or show and you are acting like a diva, it's, you know, that word
here's
is
the
gonna
reality.
spread.
Can
I
I
mean,
jump in really quick on that? We
Yeah.
had 300 people apply to play the festival this year, right?
That's more than
And-
we've ever had
and
before.
And by the way, and it was overwhelming. And we're sorry for anyone we didn't get back to yet. We're gonna send out some promo codes if any of you guys still want to come or bring your friends. Over 60% of them offered to donate their set. So people are hungry to come do this thing because they see what it is we're doing. I have to say, our reach is growing. Our analytics are really great on what our audience is. So being a part of this festival is being a part of something that's growing, being a part of something that's growing and really latching onto it by helping it grow. We have made promises to people. We've kept them all. Anyone that's helping us, we notice it. We bring them in. Yet there is no barrier to entry in Secret Garden. This is a community. Come join.
You just have to find it.
Exactly.
You just have to find
And
the garden.
that adds on to the thing that Brenden was saying earlier, which we hung out earlier last week, and you brought up that metric of you guys are donating like 600-ish dollars per hour per set kind of thing.
Costs.
Yeah, that alone, like that fucking gave me a whole new perspective of like if you're a smaller artist playing Badger and you're playing free this year and maybe you're upset, maybe you're not, like realize like if you didn't get paid your $100 or $200 slot time, like they already sacrificed $600 just to have you play.
Not to
like,
speak of
that's
the work
massive.
that we put in that we don't get paid for.
Right.
Well, and this is
I'm billable at like
hours a year.
$200 an hour doing what I do for my real life.
Well, this is part of the thing, though.
This
I mean,
would owe me $500,000 for the work that I put in. It can never pay me back, you guys.
This is
this
just
is for the love of it, is what
Yeah,
we're doing this
yeah.
for.
Yeah, I mean, great point, Chad. And I mean, I just to touch on that real quick, it's totally understandable. Like I was an artist before throwing this festival for years and years, and like I know what it feels like, and like you pour your heart and soul into this, and it's like symbolic of you, and like you want to have success in your endeavors, and you want to do big things, and what I've learned is like there's always a side you don't see, and that's where I truly like to have as many conversations, though it can be exhausting having the same conversation with a lot of people. I always try to have it because the truth is it's just there's a perspective that you don't see in what it takes to go into this. That number is just a small piece of the pie of so much greater that is required to have this thing. And I think truthfully a lot of bigger festivals there's a small amount of people that would be at the level of artists that we're putting on that would get the barrier to entry to these bigger things, and we want to take these risks in people. We want to believe, we want to support the next generation of artists and say, hey, like you're working hard, we love your music, we believe in you, but just know that like we're not always going to see everything you see, and that goes two ways. Like there's so much to just make this thing happen here, and so like believe me, when we get to a place to where we can sonically curate alone and this thing becomes financially stable as a business and we can just get creative with it,
Just
we're
know
talking a
that's the
different
goal.
ballpark. But you know, until then, like this truly is a community effort, and I hope that people see, even like, you know, we can't offer everybody everything they not only deserve, but what we want them to deserve.
I want to say something about that because this isn't just like a wish on a dream, guys. Like we have a cogent budget. This is a real business.
Right.
Basically, and
You
I'll be
have a
honest,
permit,
like the
dude.
model that we have essentially is we're going to go out and ask the community to help us do this. But year over year, as we do it, we gain a little bit, between our ability to sell out and the way that we're budgeting. We do eventually have a future, and so far we are following that budget modeling. Thank you guys. Where we do become self-sustaining, and it does become something where we can just pay you your fee.
Eventually.
And we want to get there. We're working towards that, and that's the point. Is like it's not just like until we get there. It's until we get there, following a plan that we have that's working.
Yeah, this isn't
That's
like
what's really
this isn't a
happening.
whim. Like we've put in the absolute maximum man hours. Like
But
I
it
don't
takes
think,
belief, you know, in order to like put your own project on the line and your time, and like, you know, everyone, yeah, like I know personally like how much time, money, energy I've put into my own artist project, and like I want that to feel reciprocated and valued. You know, it's a hard thing to achieve, and I think like putting a fiscal amount on any artistic venture gets dicey. And so like I hate
Always.
those conversations. Like trust me,
Always.
like it's my least favorite conversation, but like sometimes we have to have it, and then it's also that and what we can do while we're building this dream, and it's the buy-in of like, hey, like if you truly believe in our vision, what we're trying to do, what we are doing, then this thing will all come to fruition. And I know like Brenden and I have personally gone out to say like we would rather give everyone at least something to come for our efforts before like we're ever worried about making anything. Like we just believe in this shit, and we're willing to put in whatever it takes to get there.
And that's why it's awesome you guys are taking the time to just have this conversation and talk about the ins and outs of how all of this goes, because I've been doing this for like 9 years now, and I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this side of it, you know, running a festival, being in this side of the thing, especially like an up-and-coming festival where you have to be very aware of the sacrifices and time contributed on your guys' end, even less than ours. Like, I don't know, I think this is valuable, especially like I hope a lot of like smaller artists, people who want to play Badger in the future, like now understand a little bit more. Like you guys are putting in so much like time and dedication, and for basically 4 years coming out in the negative for the most part, like you guys are sacrificing all of it. So like
in the hopes that like this mathematical equation that we've contrived works, you know,
And it will.
and we believe
It will.
and we believe it will. Like that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
Do math for a living.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
It will.
we're all very
Yeah.
like nerd on that level.
And by the way,
for
this
sure.
is like, you know, to touch on like the how we're gonna make like the experience of the festival improved and stuff that was asked earlier. I mean, this is part of the thing is with the old ownership and new ownership structures, we're really trying to worry about like how can we just make this the coolest experience possible. And like, well, like just with Secret Garden, like as far as like business plans go, like we have one, but like truly we're not trying to look as this as like how can we profit from anybody. We're just trying to create something cool, and I think that's the most like genuine way to create something cool in the world that people actually want to come to and support.
We literally said, what if we just made it and then we capture that somehow?
Let's go.
So now, and then honestly, what happened to us, the what if was a festival falls in your lap when they don't have the production company to do it anymore, and they're like, wait, we have this land, and we're like, wait, we got the sauce. And then we show up, and in 2.5 months we deliver what happened last year.
The hack
We've
is
had
there is
12
That's
no
something
months
that a
to
lot of
work
people
now.
don't know about last year.
Like,
To
get
really
that together.
talk
Like
about
their
that.
madness was really, dude, 2.5 months is all we had.
2.5 months we put that
We've
festival
been
together.
working all year, so
crazy.
if you guys think it was great last year,
I
man,
mean,
just put on a
Badger
diaper.
almost didn't
I mean, it's
happen
been
last
great.
year.
Yeah, literally. The fire ban alone was like,
Yeah, the fire ban alone. But I mean, if it wasn't for Secret Garden being down to come together as a group and put this thing on, I mean, the festival was
countless
almost
names.
through different hands. Like last year, it was really up in the air because the original owner couldn't do it anymore and was looking for somebody else to take it on. And there were multiple other people that were interested, and everybody wants to sit on the Iron Throne, but they don't know what it takes to run a kingdom.
No.
Well, and just to touch on Brenden for a second and what he said,
He's
I
literally
mean,
Jon
Brenden
Snow.
literally with the old owner, I mean, sat down and like helped conceive this, and Brenden, just as my friend, is like one of the most like authentic and nice, kind, genuine people
Shout
who
out
is like
Brenden.
always
Desacore.
artist first. And I think like I'd like to think
Real
that
shit.
with Secret Garden shit, like he saw out of like Brenden was the one who came to us and was like, hey, like we should do this. I think what I hope to see is that like Brenden saw that like our intentions are aligned and we just really give a fuck about like the vibe and the artist more than anything else.
I mean, I saw how much these guys poured into just, a
backyard
one-night
event.
backyard event that was only a couple hours. So for that level of, like, dedication and planning, I mean, you guys had, like, cameras set up everywhere. You guys were, like,
Drones,
recording everything. You had drones. You had fire. You had art. You had chess.
rug artists. Yeah, it was
That-
crazy.
Rug artists?
Like,
Let's
kids,
go.
performers,
After
just
seeing
like
that, I was like, like, these
half
guys
what we have
work
at the
hard as
festival,
fuck.
so we're
Like,
killing it.
Yeah.
That's
So,
hilarious.
but yeah, honestly, really shout out to everybody who's joined on so far. I mean, Max, Tigger, Chad. I mean, like y'all are the sauce. Rob. I mean, I feel like maybe we should list off all the people that aren't,
Well, I was gonna
aren't
say,
here
there's
as
I was
well.
thinking
There's
that,
a long
by the
list.
way.
the list,
long
the
list.
list
Before we
goes
get-
on. I don't want to exclude anybody.
Before we
so-
get too long,
Yeah.
I really do want to shout out one group especially, and that's Blissful Boogie, Beakels, and Soulflower,
Hey,
who are actually
yes.
curating the Bliss Temple stage. Yes, thank you. The Bliss Temple
For
stage.
upgrade to the third stage.
That is actually going to be
Our
sort of a
multi-genre
genreless
aspect.
stage.
Yeah.
We've got artists coming as far as Sweden.
Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Is it Switzerland? Okay,
Yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
R&B singer
I
coming
get those
from
confused, too.
Belize. We have South America coming over.
It's
Well, I believe we
so
do have an artist from
incredible, the lineup
Japan
that they've
coming as
curated.
well.
And this
like-
is that's
And by
what's
the
new
way,
about
these
the
are two
lineup
of
this
the
year
greatest
too.
people in the world as well. If anyone knows them, they'll be playing Beanstalk the
Yeah.
week before. So
Nice.
they're really
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, that's one of the things we're trying to tap into this year too, because
The multi-genre
Badger started
aspect.
out as just like a rough, dub 140 kind of event back in the day, and then last
Womp
year we
womp.
kind of tried to
Right.
follow the Tipper and Friend kind of trend, and then this year we have a good mix of that hype late night bass with the organic bass and some live artists, especially
Shout
for
out Dave.
the Meteor
Yeah,
Shower,
that's
which I
huge.
think
We
is going to be
also
huge this year.
Would be remiss
So-
not to shout out Raven.
Raven,
Raven
yeah,
Huge-
our
huge
media
Huge
director.
shout out to our media director,
She
Raven.
Shout out
basically
Raven.
took
was
over
a fan
our
and
Instagram.
then just said, you know
And I
what?
wanna-
Give
Yeah.
me the keys.
I want to shout
Right,
out
yeah.
also
Like-
our stage man and artist Hospo, who
Let
all
me
the artists
drive.
will have a chance to
You
meet
know-
Yeah,
and love.
but
and that's
Raven is
Emery.
Daphne,
Hey.
Emery.
That's right.
Raven, honestly, though, special shout out. She has been clawing her way through this community to try to find somewhere where she can get in and fit
Yeah,
in.
it's
Like
huge.
that mantra I was talking about earlier. I've watched her grow from being just like someone who shoots in the back to like, shooting photography or videos or whatever. And now she's literally running our whole like social media efforts and is crushing it.
Well,
Yeah.
this is
We've
like the
seen, like,
full
an
circle.
I mean,
insane-
she was a photographer year one, so to be here and sticking with us through 4 years of just craziness, and then to still
are
want to do it, and
insane.
then take on the lead role
She
as
really
like
loves
running
this
the
event.
Instagram. I mean, like even since she like took her position, I mean, like Chad has our metrics on how our page
Our
has been doing.
Tuesday
It's just
meetings
like
sometimes
skyrocketed.
last like
ridiculous.
8
Yeah.
or 9 hours. They start at like 8 p.m. Guys, do you understand?
Yeah.
I've literally been driving across the country from like New Orleans, and the meeting still was happening longer than the
Right.
drive. Like, we put in insane hours. Raven, from the get-go, from taking on a position that, again, like I told you, if you have some sauce and you want to share, we will give you the opportunity to shine and or fall on your face, but
Right.
the reality is like, if someone wants to come in and like show us something they got that they think is going to be adhesive or cohesive to like what we got going on, absolutely.
Well,
Our
and
team
here's the
is
sauce, dude. I
always
mean,
open.
like my personal take on this, dude, is like, we limitations wise, like, people already come in with like the best in the business and they do this whole big production and stuff. Like, I know what it feels like to be believed in, and I feel like grow into my full potential. And so when I am looking at anybody who wants to join the team, be part of it, like, it's my motto, like, we don't invest in products, we invest in people. Like, if we truly
Yeah.
believe that, like, hey, you got the sauce, you got the passion in your heart, like, the rest will figure
Absolutely.
itself out. And that's like pretty much our whole team at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, we've turned from amateurs to professionals. I mean, now people are putting Badger
That'll
on their resumes and stuff when they're going to submit applications for other
And it
festivals.
means
so.
something.
Yeah, it means something. Yeah, it's not just like, oh, you played this rinky-dinky festival, but like you actually, did a cool thing. I feel like we have a pretty professional look for just a bunch of
Absolutely.
kind of hobbyists. Like we take
Are you
this
kidding me?
super seriously.
Shout out
like,
Brenden
probably
on
too
graphics
seriously.
team.
Well,
Absolutely.
and Max this year. Max
No.
actually really took over and helped out with a lot of the
both
graphics
of
this
y'all,
year.
absolutely.
So-
well, and
Yeah, I
two,
love you guys.
we didn't
Amazing.
really have a theme necessarily. Like, we have a theme for our stages, don't get me wrong, and then we have a theme for the festival. There's definitely an atmosphere that we exist in, but we're still, I mean, ultimately, and this is also a community effort. We've had some other, interjections of like, asking the community to give us some like art designs for some of our different logos or t-shirt design or whatever. Like, we've definitely, like, we're still in that process of figuring out, like, obviously the brand is Badger, but like there is more to that aspect. And so something that they've been really hard at work is finding, we have like crystals and like, it's very much like this like hi-fi trop nature like combination. I don't know, it's a difficult atmosphere and we're figuring it out. But like, dude, shout out to both you, Max and Brenden.
Yeah, it
like,
takes time.
Just like in the last 24 hours, I had a shift at work the other night, and it went into probably like 10 p.m. whatever. I checked in when I first started at work. They were in the meeting, like, working on the graphics. I checked in when I got out of work, and then I went out, and then I checked when I was getting home at like 3 in the morning, and they're still doing it. And it's like, dude, it's like, it's just never, and it's also, it's all
Beautiful.
round table. Like, and Brenden will hop in like 10 times, and Max and I are on the thing for like 18 hours. And like, and a lot of times, this is a repeating thing. Max will be like, all right, I'll go do that. And Max is like, oh, I thought maybe we could just like, stay in the Discord and get it done. Because like, we're all space
Yeah.
cadets. So we're like, yeah, I'll get that
Yeah.
done. And then it's like 18 hours
Or,
later. It's like,
or even
fuck.
it will be done, and it'll be like, well, what if we change the hue of that?
And then what
There is
if,
a lot of neurospiciness on the. I can tell you that's for
Hey,
sure.
listen,
for sure
not how
thing
I
that's
would have done it,
happening.
all
No,
right?
but,
I'm just-
but Max, we really need somebody like you though, because like honestly, like you have had most of the creative vision from the beginning, and like
Absolutely.
all of the small details that make this thing so special are made possible from
because of
your
you.
efforts.
And I don't know if you remember this, but do you remember there was a lot of stuff going on in our little family community? This was like we were planning, like, I think we were planning the homemade spaceship one, and we had that meeting, and we were just kind of. You were going through a little bit in your life, and we had to all sit down and remind you that, like, dude, we're here because of you, bro. Like, I told you, like, you're literally the brain. So it's like, as a group, we are the
Real
body,
shit.
but like, dude,
Big ups to Max.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
No,
He
this
never
is-
takes enough credit.
This is a
He
team.
never
We're
takes
taking
enough
credit.
guys.
It's
No.
really fucking
You wouldn't
annoying,
imagine
but-
I
what it takes
appreciate it.
for us
I
to
mean,
beg
he
him
does
to
have
even
the
play
best
the
shirt.
festival at all. But we're like, dude, you're playing. You're like literally like one of our better, like basically.
Dude,
the,
yeah,
like
sometimes
the
he'd be
most
like, I don't know if I'm
bookable
playing the
artists
fest,
in
guys.
the
Max
state.
gave
Like,
up his main stage set so that somebody else
So
could have
absolutely.
Did you actually?
He did.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
playing
sir.
in the lounge with you guys.
completely, like, absolutely
Yeah.
zero ego.
Big ups
Absolutely
to that,
zero
dude.
ego.
I think-
Honor, dude.
The best
Uh,
business partner you could ever ask for. I've worked with a lot of people. I've been doing this shit for like 22 years, man. I'm a bit of an oldie. Max is just absolutely one of the most perfect humans you could ever ask
I
I
have a
love
good
you guys. You're
segue.
making me blush.
Yeah,
oh my
look at
gosh.
you. You know, right?
I have a good segue from this. Just we're talking about how great the fest is and how great the people who are making it. From our year 1 to year 2, so 25 to 26. What's new? What has been improved? What are we increasing? some of the few things that come to mind. I can start it off and I'll pass it on. But porta potties, that's a big thing. Bathrooms. From a festival that had no bathrooms in its first year of festival, to now, we have more than than there was the recommended amount.
Great.
And we have them strategically placed.
And they're getting cleaned, too.
And they're getting cleaned, exactly. Like, throughout the festival, it's not just going to be like one and done and good luck. Find a clean one.
We got some deep cycles to put lights so you can have a really enjoyable shitting experience.
Thank God. Honestly, that's huge. That's
And
huge.
you may or may not see a back-to-back set at the Porta Potty stage. You never know, But just moving on down the line, just things like, just off the top of my head, we hit this earlier, but shade, dude, there's going to be so much more shade.
Water access.
I mean, this festival
ice.
started without any
Water.
shade.
We're
so-
adding this year. Are two huge
Also,
jobs.
again,
water, ice.
Way
The
more
last time
water
when I was
access
checking
and
in,
ice.
when I was checking in on these guys and they were still in the damn meeting, they were making our map. So shout out these guys making a graphic version of our map,
Yeah.
so you can see.
Yeah,
Because like I
Max
said, we
finished
added
a really high quality version last night.
Well, there's
It
these
looks
like
really
theme,
nice.
like we've mentioned theme camps, and honestly, maybe this will be a great segue to get into theme camps here in a second. But we've introduced sound camps and theme camps into the festival this year. They're extracurricular areas and activities that are provided by third-party communities and collectives. We've had a bunch that sent in some ideas. We only have a few spaces for so many people, but yeah, I don't know. It's been really cool to really make this and arts fest.
Do you want me to jump in and talk about those specific things a little bit?
Here, hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
How can we? They want to send a map so we can put it up here. What's the best?
Oh yeah, that would be cool to see the map.
You could send it
Get a little
to the
sneak preview.
email.
It's a hard
Here,
launch. Let's pause.
Yeah.
Because I have one more thing. I want
This
to
will be unreleased access to the
Yeah.
festival map for
well,
2026.
while we're waiting on that.
Actually, this is great. We're in an ad break right now.
Oh,
Perfect.
Yeah. And,
breaks through the pod.
yeah.
Well, we've been talking for a minute, hour and a half.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys having us, man. This has been
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
Of course, this has been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this will be
First
really good to
episode.
Well,
try
and
out,
also
too.
it is nice. I mean, at the end of the day, obviously we're friendly and acquainted, but we obviously don't know each other. This is kind of as a group, the first first time interacting. But
Also, I
really
feel like
appreciate you
we
guys
should leave
creating a
some
space for us to talk
for them
about.
to ask some more questions too. I don't know if they're.
Yeah, we've been yapping it up, dude.
Yeah. Hey, we got a lot to talk about. I mean,
We were real bashful at first, but then you open the can of worms and you're like, let's go.
well, we love this shit, man.
Welcome back from this short ad break.
We are a chatty
Is
group.
it already attached?
No, I just gave it to you.
So right now we're working on sending a version of the map over, of the festival map, so that we
Well-
can talk about some of the new things and talk about the layout
Yeah.
a
So
little bit.
one more thing to add on, and then we can go back to the map once it's up. But excuse me.
Wow.
One of the biggest things was I don't know, what makes being an artist at Badger cool, right? What's something that we can offer? Because obviously we're not gonna be able to cover your $1,000 rider or whatever,
And fucking 3 bottles of whatever.
Exactly. So listen, and
Right.
but we're also empathetic to the cause, and we're willing to do what we got to do to try to appease and.
It's also part of the push with the media team too. Is let's at least get some really
Yeah.
high quality photos of some of these artists, and
so,
that way they can use that in their EPKs
Well,
and stuff.
and what's new with this year is, we talk about Sonic. I think with the fact that we're nowhere near where we are going to be able to 100% sonically place people based off of just that. We're not there yet. We did a damn good job this year with not only working with egos but agents and contracts and the literal artists that we booked and trying to find where everyone fits. I'm very excited to see this game play out. I have a foreshadowing a vision that it's going to sound absolutely phenomenal, and where I also want to say some artists that maybe were a little bit more of maybe an outsider booking that was a little left field and maybe wouldn't fully fit an atmosphere. I know of 2 of artists on our lineup that are curating a specific, because again, we do love our producers. So
Sure.
to these artists, one of them is a duo group, one of them is just an artist, but I know they're curating a specific Badger set based off their own music, but also curating something that is more tangible and digestible to our community. And that's also something kind of piggybacking off how do you get booked? Dude, be mendable. Putting yourself in a box is a suicide mission. Listen, you want to die on that hill? I'll let you. That's great. I will let you die on that hill. Because the reality is and not to toot my own horn, but with being Duality, I have really pushed that
I push like bounce and like heavy bass and everything in between. Those are kind of like these two genres I pull from, and I think like we should just be more versatile. We are live in an age where our listening community is so forgiving. More forgiving than ever. Whenever have you seen an artist like, I mean, you look at some of the biggest artists ever. Subtronics is playing like every single fucking genre. You know what I mean? Like ZZ released altered states, and they were like, "Fuck yeah, this is awesome." And there's
even like Tipper kind of being like one of those like iconic idols of just like having the massive repertoire of ambient to down tempo to up tempo to
halftime to whatever halftime, exactly.
You know, it's being for any mood, especially when you're playing a festival too, because you could get booked at 2 p.m. or you could get booked at a super late night set, or you could get
come
booked
in
for
and play hype shit at 2
you know?
p.m. where there's only like 11 people, it's probably not going to work out for you. You gotta be
versatile in like the music that you make. You know, that's also going to help you like get more opportunities and bookings, because if you can play different styles of music.
Also,
you were even you were bringing up when we were just hanging out the other night. There's a lot of opportunity for like ambient sets and really, really chill sets, like either super late in the night or early in the morning. I don't know how many people are like applying for those kind of sets, but like if anybody even does that as like a side kind of thing,
I will
like,
say that is something to jump in for sure into the sound camps, which you can see now in the theme camps area there. We have Alpine Underground.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, it's coming
now. Yep.
Okay. But we do have Alpine Underground.
You can read down the list on the left.
No, I'm looking at it there. Okay. We have Alpine Underground, and then it's Intergalactic Side Quest Bus. And we also have Luminary Gatherings. Those are our 3 sound camps. Luminary Gatherings stands out from the other 2. They're doing daily ecstatic dances. I'm not sure if they're booking anybody, but definitely reach out if you play. What I'm saying, if you play like that sort of music, definitely reach out to them, because I think they're going to be like sort of a chiller place to go.
To quickly interject, something about the sound camps, and also to remind us, like we did get a little off the top with our permit taken from us this year to accommodate. We added an extra day, a third day, the Thursday pre-party with the Perseid meteor shower, which is that's a whole talking point I would love to get to at some point. We should. The reality is that we're an ebb and flow. We didn't want to fight, because they gave us like 90% of what we wanted. And they took 10%, and hopefully in good faith we'll get it back when we reapply next year for some of the things that we want. But the reality is we did lose some time, so some of what we had for our hopes of sound camps this year we're a little limited this year. So like as far as like people having an immense opportunity to play, it's just a question mark. We just don't really know exactly what it's going to be this year, because like I said, we're really not trying to push the issue. So.
With that said, we do have acceptable limits, and so in our creative zone where the theme camps are designated in that permit, those are going to be like the only time where you can hear sound activities going on. And we have lounge activities late night, which we are going to announce soon. That'll be super fun. But yeah, I mean that's like music-wise mostly. Those are going to be our experiences late night, and it's not going to be banging like the stages during the day or up until 2 a.m., but it's still going to be a good time,
Moving forward, we do plan on getting that back. Like we do want to be able to run music till like main stage music till 4 a.m. like we had planned this year. That we're
it's
not
all politics
at
this point.
Yeah, it's just politics.
Exactly.
And like if for anyone who's watching this now or who's going to be watching this, if this gets clipped, the reality is that unfortunately, like Rob does have to show up in a suit and tie, and sorta pseudo beg for forgiveness from things that we didn't even do every year. Every year, it doesn't matter how good we did last year and how good we did this year. We're basically gonna have to fight the same thing every year until,
we do have some complaints that are of sort of a fantastical nature, shall we put it, that come in from neighbors.
People love to lie.
And I don't want to really underline that too much, because we really ultimately hope that
literally.
We still believe that honestly that's kind of a carryover from the irresponsible years before we took over.
Of course.
And it's nothing against those folks. It's just that was more of a bush doof.
Yeah.
And this is they didn't have any profit plan. This was a party. You know what I mean? Before, so this became something bigger. Honestly, only under the force of their work, but they dropped some balls in terms of how the neighbors felt about it.
But as we claw back and get, like I said, as they give us inches, we'll be able to give more miles.
Claw like a badger.
Yeah, literally, like a badger.
Which, by the way, I hear a lot of questions about this. there was a sign when you go into the little town year one that said Badger Base Camp, but BASE. Badger Basin is the name of the little valley that we throw it in, and so Badger is like a core part of the land, which is why everyone's like, why do you call yourselves Badger?
Yeah, because originally the plot of
makes
land was on a different plot, and when that was first purchased, we didn't realize that, you know, this was like our first year throwing a festival, like me and Andrew. We didn't realize that you needed to throw a festival on agricultural land, and we had residential land. And the reason we call it Badger is because Badger Mountain was supposed to be right in front of the main stage. So we just kind of rolled with the name, because at the second lot, we saw that there was a gas station called Badger Basin. So I'm sure if you come to the festival, you'll pass that gas station.
Also, please, hey, I'm jumping in on that. Do not throw your garbage away at the Badger Basin gas station.
Ooh, yeah, no.
Do not disrupt.
Treat it with respect
anything.
and kindness.
Yeah,
We have plenty of dumpster space. Throw it away in our dumpsters or in our trash cans.
Yeah, we'll take care of it. Please just leave it in our trash.
Yeah, the
These
wildlife
articles.
area is Badger Basin. Like there's like a hiking trail that's like, you know, in that
and
little
there
mountain
is
valley.
While we're on
There's
Badger
about a
stuff, I think
70%
this might
chance
be a
that
great
you-
venue to actually announce the winner of the naming of the Badger contest.
Yes, dude.
that was
Honestly, I've
going
been
on.
waiting for that.
Do we have a-
Seriously.
do we have a drum
Yeah, can we
roll
pull it up,
sound
please?
cue?
'Cause can we
There
pull it
is.
up?
Just
We have an
absolutely no
exclusive
question.
event happening
I
right now?
haven't seen it. I haven't looked
We
at
don't
it
have
since
a
the last
drum
time I
roll,
looked.
I just want to.
unfortunately, which is such a bummer.
Just give it a
We've
second.
never
Just
needed
just
it.
hold
Give
on.
us
I'm
that
gonna give
way.
it a quick
Wait, when it's
scroll.
clear.
Just hold off for 2 seconds, and then we will.
I have a clear winner.
Well, I was
here,
gonna say
man.
there's a 70% chance that you
always knew who it
could
was gonna be.
literally see a badger at the festival.
No, you're correct.
Oh yeah, it's definitely Diggy Smalls. Everybody is the name of the
Diggy
Badger.
Smalls,
Diggy
everyone.
Smalls.
Is the
Diggy
name
Smalls.
Thank you for helping us with
of
that.
our mascot
there.
badger. Yeah.
Shout out Diggy.
Now any badger anyone sees, they're gonna be like, it's Diggy!
And by the way, there are badgers
The
on the
spirit of
site. There, we saw like 2 or 3
It's like
badgers
the dog
last
from
year.
Sublime.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Plenty photo
Oh,
ops
yeah, we
with the
did book an
badger.
artist badger, so you
Yeah,
can
we
see
take him on
badger.
the tour, the Red
Badger.
Badger. We've had a bunch of shows on the way.
Right.
That's true.
Wait, did
We
you
did a-
actually?
We
There's
did.
a
Yeah, there's this
secret.
great
Yeah, we
artist
have
badger.
an actual mascot badger.
Booked on the
I'll
Bliss
send it
Temple
to you.
stage.
What?
He's great. You should check him out.
Okay.
He's gonna place it at the Bliss Temple stage. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. that's-
So
that's
something.
great.
I mean, that's also. I mean, just like we're kind of like in the realm of this. Next year, we do have like some plans on doing more like like road to Badger events. Like our pre-party at Cervantes this year was like a fat success. I don't know if you guys were there or saw any of the footage from it, but
I saw
Yeah,
some
shout out to Tigger
footage.
for being the lead coordinator on that. So
There was heavy hitters on the lineup.
it was.
Fuck it, I saw that and I
hell,
was
bro.
like, oh.
It was hell.
Dude, we packed that place out, dude. It's
Man,
fucking sick.
it was a success.
yeah, we also brought some of the biggest production
It was
that
like
the
20.
other side has
It was
seen
20. It was
in a long time.
Not Trent in the front office. He said it was the most production that they'd ever seen in the other side.
It's almost like we have a festival's worth of cool shit to put in this.
Like in our basement and shit.
What can we
use?
use by 4 feet
All of it?
stage?
Guys, when I walk into
All
my
of it.
house
No,
every
we
day,
couldn't.
there is just like amazing art stuff. I live upstairs with our festival designer. You wouldn't believe
It's basically
the
a
crazy
Goodwill.
art shit that we have at our place.
Hey, you guys
Come to the
understand?
workshop
I mean, you
and
guys
help
got
us.
like
Yeah,
mixers
sure.
on the wall.
Yeah,
you know?
we got all sorts of crazy shit.
Yeah, the graveyard, but
right.
no, to talk about next year, just a little bit here while we're, just kind of chatting here. Definitely, like, I know I have some. I don't want to talk about something that's not like concrete just yet, but I do have some, some sound system owners here in Denver that want to go on like a mountain tour. Something I recently kind of discovered myself was, dude, they got like dubstep bars in Salida and Buena Vista and all these tiny ass mountain towns of 1,000 people, and they show out. And it's like, it's like there's definitely a lot of 19-year-olds and 20 and 21-year-olds, whatever, but we're an all ages festival.
Yeah, there's been some talk about us doing
Right.
a potential show in New Mexico too. I know that we've got like a bunch of artists out
Yeah?
there that.
Oh, absolutely.
there's been
New
some interest in
Mexico,
that.
Dallas, New Orleans. There's a few places, especially in the South, that we want to pull from. There's a huge dub community on the South end of this country, even as far as Florida as well. I happen to know one of the proprietors of the TK Lounge, so there's a lot of people in St. Pete and Tampa that I really want to know. I really want to pull from there.
Let's go.
And that's part of
great
this whole
area.
thing, right? Like, so if we, we were trying to talk about earlier about like, 60% of the artists that submitted
Florida gang.
are
Shout
trying
out.
to like
Shout out.
they're
I'm
trying
from
to
Florida.
donate their sets, one of the things is we spend our money on like the like almost non-obtainable people for now so that we can build that hype, right? Let's like,
Right.
oh man, G-Space played, oh man, Vector played, oh
Go ahead.
Mystic Grizzly, whatever, like, right, all these. Now some like Vector's a Denver guy, but like,
Right.
but there's a, like last year, we had like, what is it, Kill Smith, and like we're trying to
Import.
Import. Yeah, well, shout out
Desacore.
Mark. Listen, so
Shout out, Mark.
So Mark's a good homie of mine.
Friend of the show.
We're in a big collective together. Myself, Big Nut Chuck, Rob,
Shout
Homie
out
Space,
Big Nut Chuck.
Legends.
Melodic, Spades. The list goes on. Chosen. Like we used to meet up pretty honestly like weekly. We used to meet up every Wednesday, and we would have like these like beat sessions together.
The beat offs.
Yep,
Beat-offs.
absolutely. The beat offs are the way to go. My girlfriend loves that one too.
Shout out, Jade.
But no, Mark actually came in a really interesting. So I was going through some like life stuff while the boys acquired, Secret Garden acquired Badger. I was kind of on hiatus from the group and was just going through some stuff in my life, and then I kind of like came out of it, and it was like almost like maybe like 2 weeks after they had like started like the process. Like we said like 2.5 months to put the festival together.
Right.
I kind of came in at like the 2-month mark, and was like, well, shit, I'm joining the ship a little late. Like, what can I do? So I'm like a little bit of everything, right? I'm like 1% here, 1% there. I was just, again, getting where I fit in, was trying to just really just figure it out. We had like a major, like tier A artist drop. Unfortunately, due to some life circumstances. And it was just one of those things where it's like, we have like un poquito X amount of dough in the wallet,
right.
and like, but we have a huge hole to fill here because music, personality aside, person aside, his mistakes aside, that person had like a pretty big following, and there were definitely a chunk of people going to our fest to go see him. And I literally was like, well, fuck, what do I do? So I just hit up Mark. I hit up a few people. Mark's honestly the only person that really got back to me though. And I was like, listen, man, I'm gonna cut it real straight with you. And this is something that we've all dedicated ourselves to really maintain this level of just like truth and bluntness, because we are just like a group of artists and music lovers just trying to put on a kick-ass show, and we're not making money. So like, we're not trying to make money and profit off people. We just want to like make it at least somewhat worth it, with the culture also being added into the like please take this piece of bread and also like whatever, and I'll get some great media for you and we'll whatever. And Mark was like, can I bring 8 friends? And I was like, you bring 18 friends, dude. I don't care what you like. I was like, you want to come?
Yeah.
I was like, you're gonna do this for like and like I'm not gonna get the specifics, but he was doing it for like a quarter or a third of his normal cost. And yeah, I mean, that was like a major upgrade. He's like 7 times the size of the person that we lost, and he came in and was just like, sure, yeah, no worries.
Right.
It's
Nice
like,
cool
shout out to
dude.
him.
Like,
It actually
nice
has
and true
been
legend.
Yeah,
a
dude.
mensch from day one. I mean, rebooking him again this year, it was like a shoe-in to just,
Of course,
one of
yeah,
the first
dude.
people that we honestly booked this year. And again, just, shout out Mark, even just this year, again, like we were still coming from a place of down under, and like we, to just throw out a number. I mean, we lost like, nearly $50,000 last year, at the end of it, everything said and done. So it's like, we were not coming from an even better stance. We were, if anything, coming from like a lower stance than we even had from to begin with. And so for him to again and he's not the only one. There is a long list of these people that we don't even have enough time to talk about all of them. But he's just one that stands in my mind, because that he was a kind of like when I came in here, I was like, I need to do something to like prove my worth here and show that I'm a part of the team here.
Which Tigger, by the way, is such an all-star for Secret Garden. My straight up fridge door fell off, and boy came and fucking cleaned up a bunch of soy sauce over people walking by. Like, there's no job this guy can't do.
True
Gemini artist,
The Swiss Army knife. You're right.
Can I also just say something about Mark really quick too? Can we just talk about he played an absolutely cracked set at the festival last year?
Oh yeah, it was so good. It was so good.
Incredible.
He ended the Saturday night last year or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was so good.
Unbelievable. And I gotta believe, part of like him wanting to come back this year is like how fun that experience was.
I literally texted him, I was like, Mark, you want to play again? He's like, hell yeah. He's like, that was so fun. What the hell?
That's what I was
Which
going
boy's
for.
next up, by the way, he's fucking crushing it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
much
Next
love,
up.
dude.
He's already up. He's not even next
the tip
up.
of the
He is
spear.
up.
He's
He's up and in.
He's cutting the clouds, man. He's making the V.
True.
I don't know. That's something too. Is like we want to get to that position. Like we want to be a slingshot for people, man. Like
Sure.
Like to be able to like
I
and
feel that.
that was something that like totally tangent and like not part of this group. I'm not gonna talk about it too long. But like that beat off session thing that we used to meet up with Import and homies or whatever, right? All these guys.
Name drop.
No, but we invited Chase Chosen, who's also crushing it in the scene. He's a Wakan artist, but he just played Red Rocks recently. Him and Noetica went back to back on that. He's playing Mission Ballroom again up here with Taboo coming up in November. Chase moved here not that long ago from Atlanta. Again, we have a very niche scene here. So like we are literally the magnet of this community. And if we have this opportunity to be like the festival that's on the magnet, you know what I mean? And so like we literally have an opportunity to be tone setters, and we are a group of tone setters. Like
yeah. And also to your point too, just like slingshotting other people, like Badger has a reputation for slingshotting artists. I mean, there's a few people that even played the very first year that are now touring just because of the connections that they made with artists on our lineup. So
absolutely. And just I will say, like, that's something I'm really proud of. Like, you know, it's like what every producer or DJ wants to be like, what would be the best job in the world? Dub selector, right? Like that would, if that was a job, that would be fucking awesome. And like, we literally kind of have like some pseudo adjacent job of like dub selecting, where it's like we're creating we're creating a playlist of the dub selectors, kind of. And it's a niche opportunity, but it's like something we've really
we're like the DJs of the festival, you know.
It's very similar.
Selector on the resume.
It's very similar actually to how Secret Garden was and why it worked. Like about 90% of the people who were at Secret Garden were people who were either already were or who were trying to make their full-time living in the scene. Mostly artists, but people like fire performers and vendors and other stuff like that were also showing up. Now that number is still something like about a third. Something like a third of the people who will be actually on the site there will be either artists or vendors or people who work in the scene consistently, or who are at least trying to make their full-time living doing this. That's kind of a unique opportunity in a festival setting to where you can just go and hang out, and about it, you know, 1 out of 3 people you run into is doing this shit.
Which circles back to the original goal of Secret Garden, which was to be like a backyard networking event, and now Badger has become a networking festival. You know, that's one of the cool things about it, is it's such an intimate vibe.
Like inviting you guys in.
Just
this is
hanging out, partying with like your favorite artists, or getting to like, you know, sit down on a podcast and listen to them talk about their production techniques, you know.
Well, dude, like breaking down the fourth wall is like such like a core part of like me feeling okay as a human, because like again, like leaving Denver, like you realize how like small pocket of like what we do is. Yeah, exactly. Like truly we're so much more connected than we are having differences, and so like truly, dude, like everyone is going to be friends, and that's our whole goal with like trying to have a little more inclusivity between, you know, artists, attendees alike. Like, you know, come create with us, you know. It's a co-creation.
Also trying to just break down the socioeconomic norm of like okay, so like this whole process of like the due process of, yeah, I'm down, talk to my manager. Jesus fucking Christ. Listen.
Managers are people too, Tig.
No. Listen.
Are they though?
Okay, so just to break down rules here a little bit,
Just
like
kidding.
something specifically within booking, like we are booking, the 3 of us here.
We are booking.
Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Exactly.
We're all programmed, dude.
Where's the horn?
Bad.
Computer.
Yeah.
Anyways, the way that we do this, essentially, like we all have like a creative spearhead. We all have a creative like point to where we've all agreed upon. We're good. Yeah, we're good.
Thank you.
That we've all agreed, like, you know, essentially like, if it's like a sword, right? It's essentially like Max is the hilt. Brenden is the blade.
And Tigger's the shaft.
Shut the hell up. I'm the sharpness. No, really, for real. I'm just saying. No, I mean, we all have
Who's the guard, dude? Who's the guard?
Chad.
Chad is the guard for sure.
There we go.
The cup guard.
No, Chad is the shield, because he's like HR. You know?
No, he really is the shield.
He
No, for
prevents,
real.
you know, the attacks
HR.
from coming in.
And so ultimately, what I'm
No, I
getting
wouldn't
at this
say
analogy.
HR, honestly. HR is like, let's be honest, HR is there to protect the company from the employees. I don't do that. Like, we have a really nice committee of...
No, it's true.
We have a really
It's
great
very
committee of people.
accurate.
I'm PR.
There you go.
I'm the guy that if
Yeah.
you come after us, you get the teeth. And
Okay, before we
that's-
get too
that's
far,
the thing.
to finish my point, and then we can move on to something like actually like
Chad's from the south side.
helpful
so.
here. I just ultimately like something we learned this year, and I think this has been a recurring theme, and we're already constantly building, you know, a new efforts to make it smoother and better for next year. But here's the thing: not everyone's going to be able to do what they want to do when it comes to the confinements of this business that we're creating. And that was something we're learning here, is that just because you say you want to do something doesn't mean you're really good at it. And like some of our newer characters that have come in, no, but like again, like I said earlier, like we'll give you the opportunity to fall on your face.
Yeah,
But
good.
here's something. But we pay attention. Like we really do see. Like, hey, listen.
We'll help you out if you're.
Yeah, we support
I'm
people.
Yeah, we're not
too.
gonna
Yeah,
like,
we're not just
entirely.
here, like-
But what I'm saying is like, hey, listen, this didn't really work out. But what I did see from this is that you're really good at this. how about we do XYZ or whatever, right? Like
Right.
we really are. We want people to like find where they again fit in where you get in. And if they need a little pushing into that effort, we will, because like ultimately if we can't find someone to fill the role, it's just gonna be us three fucking doing it again, and it's like
Right.
You know, even us, like we've all melded into our roles just by
Differently.
making mistakes
Exactly.
and seeing what works best.
Oh,
And
yeah,
being
the
like,
whole
okay,
festival's
Tigger, you're
been
really good at
failing
this.
up.
Take
Yeah.
this on, or
well,
you
and
know,
that's
maybe
what's
I'm
worked
not
out
so good
too,
at
is that
this.
like while we're all booking, he's definitely being more of like the like you know, he's like the face and like the good cop, like calm voice.
Yeah, we've had a good cop, bad cop kind of like
and like
theme going
I'm
on
the
last
talent
couple
buyer
years
who it's
of,
like sounds, you know, but like here's the thing, I started this whole thing because full circle, I'll end it right here, you know, I said it's like yeah I'm interested, talk to my manager. We're about to throw that right back in these people's faces. You want to play the fest? Sounds good. Talk to our talent buyer, you know, it's like, and I'm not like some mean ferocious thing, like I'm just something that we pride ourselves in is reasonable facts and truth. Like the reality is a lot of our friends and a lot of people that we know value themselves quite higher than they lie, which is where some of this metric stuff comes in, and there's some of the personality in it, but because there's so much of a friendly
But
nature.
also, like, the going rate for artists is just like so high in Denver too, because you have people booking them at Mission Ballroom.
Of course.
You know, you have Cervantes.
Well, and
know.
like, look, guys, it's when we have a guy like Mark coming acting the way that he's acting.
a third of his
how,
cost, and
how am I
he's
supposed to
traveling the country?
measure the way that you are in such a smaller position,
Exactly.
thinking such high,
Right.
making
Listen,
my
here,
day
put that-
harder?
put
I have
that
to
mic
spend
up a little
time. Do you
bit.
know how hard it is to do this? The amount of time it takes. Yeah.
And by the way,
It's-
like we
it's
noticed, like, you know,
difficult.
if people come in like and are just like super homies about shit, they're like, trust me, it's like
You're-
it's a
you're gonna
balance
better
of
spot
like,
next
you know,
year.
like even if
We're
we
so
do,
type A, we write
you
it
know,
all down.
by the way, it sucks to put a financial value on any artist, but like, you know,
Exactly.
even though that is kind of the job, we also, you know, are balancing it between like how much of a homie are you being about it? Like, you know, how much are you like trying to build this thing with us? Like, how are you involved in the community? There's so many things here where it's like so easy to get ahead by just being like a good person. And so like truly, I think like at the end of the day, the people who are like grateful for this are the ones that are going to be like building this with us, and that's going to be the promised land of like we can sonically curate and do everything we want to do. And as far as like sustainability, it'd be great, you know, because I mean Brenden and I know specifically, you know, we're still starving artists trying to dedicate all our time to this thing that doesn't pay us. So.
Yeah, I feel that.
I think, I mean, we've hit all the things on my list here, but I know you had a variety of other things. I'd love to see if you guys have any questions, or I know you guys have been writing some stuff down.
Hey,
but
Chad, if you have any...
Funny enough, we honestly touched on like
a lot of
Questions?
7 of the 9. Yeah. One of them a little less interesting, but is kind of interesting in the sense that like I have no idea how actually running the festival day by day when it is actually happening goes. Would you guys be curious to talk about like what are just being the back scene of like everybody
Yeah.
being the party?
Yeah.
What is that like?
24/7.
Yeah.
And I don't.
It depends
and that's
on your
not.
role.
Yeah,
It's
it
not a
definitely
joke.
depends on your role. I mean, like last year, for example, like we had Chad stationed up at Rob's camper to take care of administrative
He
duties
didn't even
because
go to
there's
the
so
fest,
many
basically.
things that need to be like emailed back and forth. There's communications that need to be happen. We have volunteers working the front gate. I mean, me, Max, and Tigger are like running around the
Chickens
festival.
with no heads,
Yeah, literally
like-
putting out any fire that we can. You know, directing
So
people
many
where to
fires.
go, where to set up. You know, handling incidents, whether that's with medical or artists or just
The
like
sound system's
crazy
turned
stuff
off.
always
Like,
happens.
what?
Or,
That's-
like,
like,
or-
you know,
Right.
the
yeah,
generator's
of course.
not working. There's no
We're going
oil
around
in these
filling out
things.
generators. We're also like keeping aware of like when an artist shows up, like then all of a sudden artist hospitality needs to step in and go find that artist and track them down and make sure that they show up for their set.
And
We're
where
also
there was a lot
coordinating
of
like harm reduction, making sure that
Yeah.
people are around roving the site, which
Absolutely.
we
so much
unfortunately
more
we
of
did
that
have
this
one
year.
incident last year
Yeah.
where we found somebody who was like a little bit out of it, and like that was we were able to address that because we were making sure like those systems were going. So it's
Yeah.
just a constant thing of checking all this stuff. And I will say we're definitely a lot better set up this year to be able to do all those things. We've upped all those systems for sure. Thankfully, we'll have people actually addressing a lot of those communication things we were having last year, like travel and issues. We've got some moderators that are going to be working the Discord where we'll be sending everybody.
Yeah.
That's
last
going to
year it
be
was-
something
it
that
was
frees me
crazy,
up to be a little bit
there was
more
just
there
no
for safety
rule
stuff.
set
And
in
like
place
we're
last
just trying to
year.
be.
We were running on
last year-
skeleton crew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody was just doing everything that they could at any potential thing where like if your hands are free and a problem arose, then you were going to be that person to take that on, and that kind of led to all of us being super sleep deprived
And
just
exhausted,
exhausted
yeah.
by the
Yeah, I
end of
was
the festival,
babbling
'cause it
nonsense
was-
one day, and he gave me chips and made me go to sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
I went for like 3
You had,
fucking
I mean,
like,
there were
days.
some
It was
instances where like some of us just like
absolutely
didn't
stupid.
sleep. Like it started raining like on the last day of the festival
Which it
at like
never-
3
it, like,
a.m., which it like
never
never
rains
does.
up there.
And so then all of a sudden, you know, like half the production crew is asleep, and
So now
you
we're
know,
having to go cover
I'm out there
CDJs
running
on the
around trying to
rain,
find
you know,
people
like-
to like cover the projectors and stuff
It's
like
like
that.
3
so.
in the morning, Saturday night. We're like,
Yeah.
what the hell
So
is
it gets
happening?
hectic, but we're trying to have more organization this year by
Right.
delegating different tasks, because now we have like
Well,
people
like-
like Nina in charge of vendor coordination,
And Hannah.
Yeah,
people
well,
like
shout out,
Josh
thank
in
you.
front of live painter coordination, and Alex and
Josh
Chloe
Roy.
in fire coordination, and Hannah in
For
volunteer
volunteers,
coordination,
yep.
and Anne-Marie and Jack coordinating like the stage managers. And
Spun
then,
Out Lounge taking
Yeah,
over the Floss
absolutely.
Shout out
Boss.
Nick.
Yeah,
Shout out
exactly.
Nick.
So-
Yes.
But you know, I think in general, like, you know, this is kind of what it takes to do the dream. Like, you're not going to get anywhere without failing. You just got to fail upwards and like learn from those
Yeah,
things. And
yeah.
like that's been like most of the grind in like non-festival time, is trying to like, okay, like where do we go wrong? How can we improve? And understand like their limitations. Like, you know, AEG fucking has like big corporate money backing them, and we are truly grassroots funded and executed. And so like, you know, with that said, we do what we can. A lot of us have to wear many hats, and sometimes like wires cross. But I mean, overall, I see this year as a quantum leap in organization. So hopefully it's a little less stressful.
Are you guys going to be able to actually have a little bit of fun this year, or is it just going to be stressed out?
Well, I
fucking
mean,
running around?
my girlfriend can attest to it. I mean, it was like she would get like 5-minute spurts. I'd be like, "Hey guys, how you guys doing? You guys having fun?" All right, guys, I
I'm
gotta go
hoping to
take
go
care of it.
just
I'll be
set
right
this
back.
year.
And
Yeah,
then
I think,
it's
I think like last year,
maybe.
me and Max
Yeah.
maybe had like 2 hours to relax, and that was
And-
during his set and
during
right
your
after
set
his set,
and your set?
during my
Yeah,
set. That
exactly.
was basically
Those are
the
the
only
two- yeah.
time, and even then, you know, we're tense because
Yeah.
we're like playing. And
I legitimately
performing,
should have been at the hospital last
He
year.
had, like, the
I
flu.
was,
Oh my
I needed
God.
a
He was, like,
surgery.
dying.
Chad had a
My
major
root canal
toothache.
failed,
Yeah.
and I was
Oh
like
my
literally
God.
like
Chad
was in
world-ending
physical pain
for the
the
entire
entire time,
festival,
too.
and just,
He
like,
He can't
doing
even
all
look at a
this shit.
screen, but his whole purpose
His
of the
whole job
weekend
is being
was
on
to
the
have to
screen.
look at a screen. So it was like, well, what are we gonna do? Because we could not sacrifice another body to go take care of that.
It's hard to do Chad's job. Like, it takes a true brainiac.
Like,
I do like the website and all that kind of
He
stuff. So
codes
it's just
and
like
Yeah,
does
yeah.
all
Actually,
types
big
of stuff.
props while we're on it too to Chad for doing everything that you did with the website.
It's
if you guys
so
have looked at our
smooth. Our
website, it
website
is so
is
smooth. That
phenomenal.
is like one of the nicest festival websites that I've personally seen.
shout out if artists want websites, you're a producer thing. I'm trying to get into doing
Oh,
more
okay, cool.
Bang for
websites
your
for
buck,
artists
bang
and
for your
for
buck.
agencies, that kind of thing.
Sick.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a nice synergy. I think that's something that really,
It's fun.
well, you know, we don't actually anticipate to ever make a lot of money from this festival. One of the things that we're looking to do is really look at the margin of what we're taking in re-capacity as we grow, and make sure that that grows with the production value. So we're never going to just like make more money by adding 500 tickets and that's all money that we get now, and we just roll out the same thing. It's gonna grow.
No, we're just gonna book
commensurate with what
a
we
more
exactly. It's gonna
insanely big
it's gonna be
artist that
actually
makes no
ridiculous the more
sense.
we do.
like,
But then that allows us to have a really nice springboard for our other projects.
Well,
It
and-
synergizes really well, being able to slap your name on a really cool thing and say like, "Hey, I did that."
let me be really like clear here too. Like, and our whole point is like we are trying to grow the that like bottom paragraph in the lineup. The goal is eventually that's like basically the entire lineup. Like, I want to get someone as big as like, you know, like, I don't know, I'm just throwing out a name here, but
Desacore.
the whole lineup is just Desacore. No, but like Detox Unit or some, or
Right.
like, you know, Jade Cicada, Reslang, or someone big in that aspect, and like, and
Base Nectar.
There it is.
yeah, thanks. This has been the
I'm sorry,
TPL
that-
400 podcast.
The
Thanks,
400
James.
views don't reflect the Badger or whatever.
Sorry, he meant beta nectar.
Yeah.
But yes, beta nectar.
But long story short, the whole goal here is to, like, from like we are booking from top to bottom. So, like, if we get to the point where we have like money in the fucking bank, it's gonna be, yeah, I'm gonna be more willing to pay some of these absurd booking fees of some of our favorite artists.
Sure.
It's worth it. If 80% of our lineup is local fucking fuel to a massive artist that alone would sell, again, we're not gonna, at most we might have 1,500 attendees like in the near future,
Yeah.
let alone 10 years from
I
now.
think that
you know,
kind of like also goes into how we want to kind of structure booking in the future too, to like try to aim towards getting those really big artists that are going to be like our main ticket sellers, and then filling the lineup with like more local fuel.
We got some
Well, dude, that's the
$25,000
sauce.
rebuttals.
Like
the sauce.
honestly, like I would personally love to see
One
like
artist for
you know
an hour.
we all like artist projects grow as the Badger project grows, and like truly like we talked about this earlier. There's so many cracked names out here, like
course.
literally insane. And
Aznadel
so
being
like
one of them.
yeah, like
He said, tuck hair behind his ear.
yeah, dude, like truly like it'd be like my greatest venture in this whole thing to like see people that like could be a discovery. You come to Badger being
Right,
like, I don't
right.
know a lot of
'Cause you
these
can
names,
throw them
but
at 11
I'm gonna
PM
come
because
out with
there's not
10
anyone
new
to
artists
compete.
that I'd listen to all the time.
Exactly.
The
Exactly.
phrase I say the most when I say it, and the people that respond to it the best are the people who are still around that are already gaining from their association to us is, you know, we're just a bunch of people doing cool art shit with their friends. Come and be our friend.
It's the backyard.
That's
backyard?
people who
Right.
have
The
done
backyard.
that, like, yo, like, and truly, anyone, including like art, like for instance, if Mark needs shit from me, like any kind of tech, it's free.
Oh, yeah,
for the
that's
free,
the-
dude. Like this
Right.
is a community.
Right.
It's
I
not-
just had
it's
a
not
conversation with what is it? Shout out Bloom Smack. Those boys, they were running Q for us. It was a tough experience that they were going through, and they ended up having to not do their festival due to just some permit issues. Just kind of
Yeah, it sucks.
par for the course, you know. But they ended up going into Vinyl, and Vinyl gave them a stage manager. I had a nice long phone call with this young lady, and she really was like, I kind of just gave her the gist of it, kind of everything we've just, the spark notes of what we were all just talking about with the whole trend to Secret Garden to Badger, whatever. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna talk to my manager, but this like really aligns with me. This is awesome. And she's like, I don't expect to get paid. She's like, if you guys could just give me some gas money or whatever, like, I'll come up and stage manage for you guys. Like, absolutely. And I would love to like talk about being a part of this.
Let's
Like,
go.
I have
further.
to shout out.
huge.
We actually had one of the communications folks, Brittany who's been working with Meow Wolf for years and
Yep.
years.
We just took. Yep.
Who wants to come out and work for us. We've had even people from across the country reach out. An advertiser just reached out to
Yep.
us who's like really into EDM and is like, hey, how can I help you guys out?
A Nigerian
It's
prince.
really, and so I'll go back. I don't want to, beat a dead horse so
we're
much, but it's
50,000
very
rubles I
difficult
must give
to
to
take
you.
seriously anybody who's like kind of coming at me with a stiff upper lip when I've got all this like love and energy and just like people who want to help something grow because they can see what we're doing. So I'm actually glad to have a platform like this where we can just kind of talk about it.
Y'all wouldn't understand.
Right.
No 440 around here, motherfucker.
By the way, I want to punt. It's been like a big question on us. What's up with the 400 origin story, dude?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, we've had
hilarious.
You gotta know.
You're trying to dox us right now, basically.
He's
Yeah.
gonna dox us.
Shit.
No, it's not. It's not a secret.
I mean, Dave is the best.
It was
is,
from them,
is,
not me.
is the best one to
Get in here, dude.
tell
It
us
may
first.
be a psychedelic related experience.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yes.
It was just like you say, 100%. And I said,
Yeah.
and I was trying to say for sure or 100%. And I said
400.
400%.
And then we
And then that
responded.
was hilarious for some
Coined
reason.
the phrase, yeah.
Yeah, we were like
Yeah.
always.
Always.
Of course, you always 400%. So yeah, so always 400.
Gotta rep the higher level. We're past 100%. And what you guys are doing is past 100%. One might say
Yeah.
400%. You know?
That's the goal. It's what we can
400
aspire
approved.
to.
Absolutely.
I think something that we didn't talk about, well, I guess we kind of did, but I would love to just kind of like adjacently touch up on this. You know, we said like we've obviously talked about all the work that goes in individually, but as a group too. It's exhausting. Like it is actually like, we probably have to convince one another to not quit, like a lot, but not literally, but just like, it's like, talk me through it, man. I need help, please. Like it's starting,
Sure.
you know, the shadows get closer sometimes. And like,
Yeah,
we're
you're
like,
just falling apart one
it's-
day.
Can I get an
one of the
airborne for
homies to be like,
depression?
let me, you know, not to bring the mood down. I know he mentioned this earlier, but like, you know, my dad died earlier this year, and like, you know,
Oh,
these guys
man,
are here
dude.
for me, and but we pushed on and just get it done, you know, like
Yeah.
we've gone through a lot of things in our own life to like just
And can we acknowledge, honestly, it's been a hard year, I think, for everybody.
yeah.
This has just been a tough
Yeah, it's
year.
been-
I don't know how
well,
you
it
guys
took-
been feeling,
it took
but it's,
Max
I think
like
everyone's
6
kind of
months of
feeling a little bit of
turnaround
a
from last year
difficult
because
year.
Max did so much. Max literally, listen,
I had just gotten out of a practically a divorce, was getting out of my house, and so I had a lot of fucking free time in my hand. Didn't really have, you know, any like bills at the time because I was like exiting from a life basically.
Right.
Max was like, dude, I'm up at the property every weekend because that's what the festival, it demanded. His, like, no one else could fill the role. So
Right.
Max was there every single day for like 30 days prior to the festival, and I was with him for like a lot of that. And at night, literally through the night, because it's so hot and so windy, and we're like literally like welding rebar and like cutting rebar and
digging holes.
digging holes,
Dude,
man. Let me
so
tell you.
many
We get
holes.
into
We're talking.
cocaine
It's
holes.
actually
Straight
ridiculous.
bedrock on when you get 2 feet down.
2 feet
So
down.
then we used to get
It says on the
jacked.
website. You can read all about
We're
it.
doing this at
It's a
like,
nightmare.
We're doing this at like 3 in the morning because it's the only time suitable to get this shit done. And it's like, you know, he's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I was maybe gonna go to bed. He's all right. Well, I'll be behind the shed over here welding these poles together at 4 in the morning. Like,
Yeah.
the amount of work that goes into putting this festival together. And I've said this a few times, but you know, my girlfriend can attest to this. She's a fly on the wall in this meeting, as she is on a lot of meetings and a lot of things. It's an insurmountable amount of effort and work that goes into this, and there's so many unsung heroes. And as we said
by the way,
before-
all the significant others, I don't think we have time to go through all of them, but,
No,
I
yeah.
mean,
Sure.
Haley,
Shout out
Brendan's got
Haley.
yeah,
shout out Hurricane.
Jade, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ladies have a lot to deal with, you know, because
We're annoying as
the boys
fuck.
end up being very consumed with Badger and their projects, and you know.
I'm
course.
saving myself for share, so luckily.
I don't know. It's
They're
just
still
compete
single,
with
so
me,
if there are any viewers
probably.
out there that are looking
Well-
to.
I think we just lost a couple
Boys,
viewers.
we've done 2 hours.
Can
Yeah.
I end it on one more final question? Unless
Yes.
there's
Of
any
course,
more like
please.
burning talking points.
Yeah.
Kind of an obvious one, but I think it's a fair one. Like, just what's next? What do you guys see in the coming years? Like 1 year out, 10 years out, 20 years out.
I'll
What do
just
you guys
be
see?
the numbers guy right off the bat and say it seems to me like next year we're going to have another year where we can a little bit more comfortably without us stressing and losing our minds completely. And I'll be honest, like we kind of are hitting that right when we need to, and it's coming from the support that we're getting and the hype that's coming from it. So thank you to everyone for that. If we can keep that going the same way it has been going, modestly, just conservatively,
Yeah.
for
Yep.
another year, then
Yep.
we'll probably be a little bit more hands out next year to the artists. And thank you again to all the artists who do all this stuff and
Yeah.
take lower fees and come play
Yeah.
shit for free, and all the
Makes
media
it
and all the
possible.
VJs and
Yeah.
all the people who are making this
Dude,
happen.
lasers,
But-
Slippy Beams do it for
but-
free. Like,
If we really get through another year and we have another year like we did this year, or we seem to be having this year, I mean, we're on track for a sellout. Go get your tickets. We're, I believe it's like 85% sold out
yeah,
now.
I was
We
like, let
haven't
me be
posted it
real
yet,
with you.
but we're
We
really
are
close.
way closer. than
And velocity
we
is only
thought.
we're doing really good. It's like doubling, and honestly, like the last week, last year we sold. If we took the bump we did last, we'd sell it at the festival like
Yeah.
4 times or
And
something. And that's
we-
more
Yeah,
typical for these
literally.
events. So it's like we're gonna sell it out. If we do this again next year, and the booking team can do the incredible job that they continue to do with these amazing cracked lineups for like 500-600 people, and we can just make the money
gonna do
work
it again?
somehow.
I mean, we already got our ideas
Then
for next year.
Yeah,
this model actually
me
can
and
get
don't
us to a
even
place
worry.
where
Next
we're
year
gonna
is
shooting
definitely
ideas
ready
back and
to go.
forth.
where we're
Yeah.
going to start being able to do more of the standard stuff that a festival can do, at least on a level for like everybody, where we can
on a
have
production level.
Yeah, exactly, on a
Like,
production
There's
level.
only
There's-
so much that the
like-
Hartzell farm can get to. You know what I
And
mean?
in
Right.
terms of like a budget, like we have like a pretty solid outline for how we're gonna operate next year and how we're gonna operate the year after that. So
Absolutely.
with each year comes new challenges too. I mean,
new
there's gonna
opportunities,
be
too, though.
new
That's-
opportunities, but there's
But
gonna
also
be
to speak to
some more
something else
challenges.
that I know, like we've done a lot of infrastructure work. We've built a lot of stuff for stages that it takes a lot of time and effort and material to build. That thankfully we have storage now in site. You know, we've been
Yeah.
amassing all
And
these
non-physical
resources.
things like
where now
relations
we
with
can
the county.
we definitely can roll a lot of that out next year right off the bat, and that allows us to do more things that are like art installations, more experiential stuff. So for next year, I think you can expect to see more of that. We're expecting like a big expansion on that from the theme camps, especially this year. I didn't get to go over them too much, but Dragon Portal, the Regulation Station, the Bonsai Base Camp. We got a guy with bonsai trees.
And just like
There's a
in terms,
kombucha bar.
and in terms of like the lineup too, I mean like
Karma House is
these
bringing
last
the
couple of
Kava
years
Lounge out for us.
we've been fortunate enough to book some like pretty insane artists, and I think this has gotten us a pretty good reputation as being like a notable festival in Colorado. And Tigger just the other day sent me a list of like 15 artists that he's like, we need to book these guys. So we're already thinking
Bro.
about next year. before this year's even
sign
over.
some fucking contracts before
we'll
I leave
just say
the festival
next year's
grounds this
lineup
year.
is going to be absolutely stacked. I
If
mean,
you thought
if you
this
thought
year's
these
was
last
good,
2 years were good,
it's
just you guys wait.
Next year's
it's going to be
even-
nuts.
It's going to be the tip of this spear we've been riding for sure.
Exactly.
I think we all have like a point we want to make. I'm going to make mine really fast so I can roll this blunt. You know, the reality is what's next? What's coming up next in the next 48 hours? I'd love to point out we have our DJ competition coming up on this Saturday at the Decibel Garden Music Studio.
Can I get an air horn?
Hey.
We have some guest judges. We got Spenny. Shout out Spenny.
Shout out.
Rinse.
Shout
what
out,
a
Rinse.
fucking crack
Dude,
artist.
back to Spenny. Spenny,
Yeah,
big
Rinse is
friend of the
great.
I
festival.
want to say
Always shouts us
the
out. What a
location
nice
that this
dude.
is happening to, Tigger showed us is that
Yeah.
he picked out is absolutely phenomenal
It's really
spot
cool.
to be holding a DJ
Yeah,
competition.
it's a pretty decently old music studio. It's got a very 1970s live wood vibe, and there's like you know
Nice.
some cool green room vibes. And you know, shout out Decibel Garden, Jay. He's really cool that he lives and owns and operates this. And it's not an EDM music studio. It's actually like a very like Latin rock, Latin pop rock like studio. So like, just like you know, again, he's like, hey, I got some friends that want to come. Can you send me the flyer or whatever? And you know, so just reaching, building community, you know, bringing new people in. Like we all started somewhere when we never heard EDM before, and then we heard you know. Whatever the fuck, you know, Excision or
1808,
Yeah.
and then I become this.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
exactly.
I do think we
That's all
should
it
also
takes.
shout out our sound production guys, Koja Sound, Potent Production, and Dux Audio, especially
Yeah,
Dux.
shout out.
They're
Yeah, we have
They're coming
we've
through
definitely
for us
leveled up in terms of audio
on
this
some homie
year.
stuff.
The functions on main
Koja
stage
has
are
been
gonna
with
blow
us.
your socks off.
Can I really quickly mention that Koja's
Yeah,
been
we
with
got
us
functions
since
this year,
the
boy.
backyard. Koja came and provided free sound for Secret Garden in those backyard events. So they've been with us since the beginning.
Shout him out
shout out
forever
Joe.
and
Big
ever and
time.
ever. We lost our sound system day of the show that we had for Secret Garden, and he came in and was like, "Listen, I'm gonna set it up for you. I'm gonna leave." And I'm
Right.
gonna come get it tonight. I trust you guys.
Let's go.
And
Huge.
let us try. And also, man, speaking of Koja, you know, shout out Jake, man. He's
Yeah,
just
Jake
shout
and Joe
out.
both. I mean,
Jake and
those-
Joe.
those guys
Jake
are
is
hustlers
he
for
is the
sure.
kind of like he's the kind of the brains or
Yeah.
not the brains. He's the kind of the hands of
I mean,
the
they've also
Koja
become
system.
like somewhat of like an iconic
They're just so
symbol
fluid.
to the underground scene too. I
Absolutely.
mean, you know, home built speakers that like you know Skrillex went out of his way to like try to play on. You know, just because you
Joe's
know he heard of
also-
like the legendary sound. So like Soundtrend this year is going to be popping off. So
He's also been on like you know not to get into his personals, but Joe's been on like a pretty like beautiful sober journey. He's been traveling the world like getting like his mind right. Like he's a great dude and has a great business. Koja's some you know we will stand by them for
Joe helped me
forever.
get sober.
Joe's a good
Yeah,
Chicago
like,
boy,
it's-
like
he-
Brenden and I here.
He's
Wanna
been a
throw
phenomenal
the
friend
shout out
and
there.
business partner throughout all of our craziness, man. Like throughout
Yeah.
money issues, throughout just literal, physical issues. He's been there
Right.
through it with us all.
You made me
and-
think of something real quick, and I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Max for his sobriety journey as well. I
Absolutely.
mean, you know, running a
Shout out.
music festival and you know doing all of it not fueled by drugs. That is an
That really
impressive
was
Thank you.
a central theme
power of
for Secret
sobriety.
Garden.
essential theme. Yeah, definitely.
That we wanted, you know, obviously
Oh, that's something we didn't
I'm
talk
not
about.
sober entirely, but we wanted to give an alternative where you could go really network and have this experience and do a cool thing. We tried some other cool artistic stuff that worked as well, but that was a really core theme for us. And it's not that we want to, you know,
Love you, Tristan.
go against like the homies in the scene who like to have fun. At
it's
Secret Garden, we
not.
had a naughty nook. That you
Well,
could
I was
go.
gonna say we're on Dry Fest.
And it was called,
The
we had a
naughty
sign that
nook.
would say, "You're the naughty nook," but it was like really meant to be like, hey,
But
out
you guys
here,
had
this
so
is
many
not really
other
what we're trying to do
activities
right
where
now,
it's
right?
like people
Right.
don't need to
Dude,
just
you
like
shouldn't
be
have
doing
to-
drugs, you
yeah,
know, staring
no.
out at lasers or something like that. Like you guys had so many activities that
Bro,
were really
just
meant
talk
to
to
curate.
somebody. Don't-
to curate
don't talk to your
conversation
nose.
and vibe.
Just to give like a little peek into like I think what makes the thing tick and makes it so like Max is a little bit more of an introverted guy. I'm a little bit more extroverted, and it was really just he and I conceptualizing this thing at the beginning. And one of the great things that he brought in, especially because we at first just like planned all the normal stuff that you would plan. I think that just you have to hit these things. But then he was like, you know what? When I go to places, like being an introverted guy, there's not enough things that like draw me in that can allow me to interact with like maybe just one person or like one or two people. That can,
Right.
like,
That's a good.
and so we
a good
really
idea.
thought about in a backyard how we could have things that really like apply to both of these communities and think of all these different concerns. And I think what really made it tick was that we pulled it off really well. And we have even more people who are aligned to that mission now, trying to curate what's going on here.
Yeah.
The more you guys come, the more you guys support, the faster you do, the cooler the festival will
And
be
that's what I love about what you guys did too, because you guys brought that to the festival too. Like now at Badger, it's not just a big crowd and a sea of people where everybody's listening to one person. Like there's a lot of instances where you can go and break off and find some time to really connect with people around you on like a more intimate setting.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing with too being in the High Plains desert. Like the moment you go like 2 feet from the side of the functions or the Koji rig, you're at talking volume. Like you can literally, like as we're talking now, and hear them just fine. The wind takes that sound and carries it, which is why we're able to like fucking blast it so heavy. And the reality is like I'm talking about, like the main question was what's next. Just more of the same, just better.
Nice.
Just better and better and better. We're never striving to stagnate or plateau.
Yeah, I mean, this is why we're like putting so much effort into like building up the infrastructure that we have here, is because these are things that are gonna
hopefully outlive us.
remain,
I mean, that's the
hopefully
goal.
outlive
That's
us,
the goal.
Like these things will be here every year that we invest in a new shade structure or we dig a new hole and put a new post in it. That's something that's gonna stay there. That's less work for us to do. To just like,
Grandpa.
yeah, no, that was literally us last year. Like literally just digging holes.
That was Max.
Yeah, no, that was all of us.
Keep digging.
Yeah.
We gotta find the treasure.
Yeah, I mean, you guys even fucking restored an entire crack house and
crack
turned
house?
it into a stage.
Oh my God!
So,
I did
Shout
find
out-
needles.
can we give a little backstory on
Yes,
that,
but
Matt?
shout out Jade.
Yeah.
Shout out Jade, my girlfriend. She's off camera right now, but she's a big crafty girl and loves to, she just loves to help. She's like, I don't know what I can be helpful with, but if you tell me to do something, I'll do it. And I was like, go do something creative in the crack house shack. And like for just to preface, it's basically this just like
That sounds like fun.
it's like a little.
It was like a tiny home that was a squatter shack
Yeah.
out in the middle of Hartselle, nowhere, where some dude like filled it with like people trying to get out of rehab that just became a full drug squatter shack. It was full of needles, fucking ripped ceiling, like barely any
Nice.
walls.
So we went in there and gutted it, cleaned it out,
Completely renovated it. And that
painted it,
became the
renovated
main
it.
green room
It's
for
the green
last
room
year.
for the shrine
And it
stage.
actually looks really nice. They got a fresh coat of paint.
Great
It got
history.
a stage built on top of it.
And then Jade went in there. I had this like big box of excess like Pokemon bulk cards, and she went in there and she like color coded and epoxy glued
sick.
an entire wall of Pokemon
Yeah,
cards.
that was
And
a sick installation.
it
Shout out
says-
Jade.
And then
That's
our old
sick.
R.I.P. the old slogan. This is the memorial now, what it's become, because obviously we have changed our name and we no longer have the slogan.
Yeah.
I heart BBC anymore. R.I.P.
Yeah.
But it says in
R.I.P.
Pokemon cards, I heart BBC in like color coded.
Right.
Dude, shout out Jade. It was so
Yeah.
creative.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
crushed
So
it.
sick.
It
Nice, Jade.
lasts the winter and the summer of the previous year into now. It's still up.
Keep
Like-
it as long as you can.
Oh,
'cause
we're
that's
gonna-
a yeah.
Well, the iHeart BBC is like it's memorialized. Like it was the best
Yeah,
branding
yeah.
of all time. We're no longer Badger Base Camp, but we are still Badger, and we still love BBC.
Hey.
Shout out BBC.
The shaft.
It does say at the bottom of the website, born from the spirit of Badger Base Camp. And that'll always be there because we do have respect for both Brendan
him the
and
sack of
Andrew,
BPC.
right, who
even
did...
Andrew's,
Andrew
still,
did a really cool thing by bringing this around.
Yeah.
There's a reason why we were really excited to have this fall in our lap, even though, and I want to highlight that because even though obviously the year prior to that fell short, and we're glad that we really had a lot of support, that we were able to really catch that falling knife and make it work and and have
Yeah.
something for the community. Andrew did what he did that year
Yeah,
by
all
himself.
by himself, and now
which
we have
is
a team of
actually
like 15
insane
people
what he was
doing
able
the
to pull
same
off
thing.
by himself. If he made any mistake, it was working way too hard.
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
So just
Right.
big shout out to Andrew for
Yeah.
first of all, making this vision a possibility
Establishing
in,
it.
the-
Yeah, we
in
couldn't
the
be
first
here
place,
without
and,
him
and entrusting
trying to get
Secret
it
Garden
done,
to
yeah.
make it happen and to do things in the spirit of his original vision as well. So,
Yeah. Well, sick, guys. We did it.
That's
Thank
all.
you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
thank you guys
Thanks.
so much for having us on the podcast.
Yeah, dude.
This
Thank you,
has been
dude.
an absolute pleasure.
Dude,
Thank you guys for coming.
Shout out viewers who stuck it through the whole
Yes.
2.5 hours almost.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, it was really fun. I feel all sorts of familiar vibes. So it was really nice hearing you guys speak from the heart.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, thanks for having
I
us.
love it.
Yeah.
Dude,
Love it.
part 2 at Badger. We're boys for life now. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's right.
We'll build
Yeah.
you guys a stage. We'll build you guys like
Let's
a
go.
little podium or something. Put you
Let's
guys
go.
up. Everyone can like 360 watch you guys talk. That'd be
Yeah.
kind of cool if you had like
Yeah.
a setup like this. It was actually something I wanted to do because I have a lot of like artistic friends. You guys have seen those little like living room setups at festivals where it's like there's a person who writes like $5 poetry cards and they're just sitting and it's
Right.
like a little living room setup.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, no, I know we have it, but I
Right.
know we do have that. But I'm just saying, like, for the idea of like bringing TPL in, like, we
Right.
could literally put you guys up on like a 360 stage. with,
dude,
like,
bring this table out.
Perfect.
Honestly, this table's lit. This is actually awesome.
And also, so when we talked about it, we thought
It'd be
we were
ridiculous
only
to bring
going to
this
do
table out.
3 hours, I want to say. So if we have an extra, we can fill in like one other artist for a 30-minute, but like, if you guys have the time and you're not fucking running around with chickens like your
Yeah,
head
you
cut
guys
up
could
at
come
the
swing
fest,
up and talk
maybe we
about
do
it.
a little 20-minute,
Yeah,
like,
that would be fun.
yo, how's the fest going?
Yeah, we
What's
could carve
going
everything
on?
out.
Going
20
safely.
minutes.
I'll be right
Internally
across the way
screens.
from where you guys are going to be set up at Staff HQ. I'm sure you guys will see me a bunch, so just come grab me.
Cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
Yeah, fire, dude.
Sweet. Yeah. Thanks everybody in the
Thank
stream
you, guys.
too, and thanks for those
See y'all at
questions,
Badger.
Jacob.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shout out Jacob Waters.
Shout out.
Legend.
And get that blind drop for tickets next year. It's the
Let's
cheapest
go.
ticket possible.
Yeah.
If we're gonna throw a banger event, so bet on us.
You will not find a festival like this for the
for
cost
that,
that
as
we're
cheap as the
releasing
Blind
tickets
Fest
for.
drop is, I'm
Yeah.
telling you right now, buy
It's literally
that
just
ticket.
enough to like break even and
I
invest
want
a little bit for next
maybe
year.
as a final thing to that point, I want to reiterate it is in our articles of operation that margin idea that we are tying the production to what we're taking. So if I increase the ticket cost, it's because I'm giving you more. I don't get anything else by percentage out of that.
Yeah.
That is the same ratio is always going into the production. So if you like what we do this year, you're always going to like the amount of investment that goes into the production that you receive.
Which, by the way,
That's-
we're cheaper than last year and like 10x the production
Yeah, we
value.
actually
so-
added we added an extra day of music,
And
you're
lasers.
paying,
We
and,
learned
and we
from our
made our
mistakes.
prices
It's
cheaper.
insanely hard
we
to
thought
get
we were
in the
honestly
box.
we looked
Yeah,
at
the
last year,
lasers.
we lost a bunch of money.
Yeah.
We thought we were a little bit overpriced, and so we brought our price down, and we still gave
Science.
you more.
Also,
That's
last
right.
last point too is Rob is also bringing out like double the amount of orgone amplifiers too.
Oh,
Which
wait,
if you guys haven't
okay,
seen
hold on,
these
we
are
have to-
Shout out to Rob.
crazy. Yeah.
And we got to just talk about New Moon Meteor Shower.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
such
I
a
have
unique
shower for
weekend.
sure.
So we can end it on this. This is a perfect segue. This is a perfect segue. So one of the best things about this, and like again, Rob integral. We've talked about him being like super integral to like the entire process of this festival, physical, emotionally, logistically, whatever. Right. He also has this business. Where he makes these orgone amplifiers, and in his own words, they're good vibe generators. It's like almost like this old tablet of Thoth Teslic knowledge. Like it's very like we're talking about like 432 and 440 and all this stuff. Like it's very much in line with that. While I was joking, it's also not a joke. He does tune these to 432, and it's
Yeah, they're interactive crystal structures that are audio reactive,
And they're all analog.
They're all analog, and you can tune all the dials to like.
So you can
know,
get it to
highs or
440 and like
lows.
get dissonant.
You
and,
can
like,
have a bunch of
yeah.
them set up. So
You'll
like
feel
on our
it.
main stage, that's going to be actually one of the main features of our main stage.
crystal
Is
stage.
the crystal pavilion.
Yep.
So we're going to have
Fun.
all these crystal art installations that are going to be dancing and reacting to the music, and you can also come up there and you can play with them yourself too.
Sick.
But they're literally
Yeah.
good
Yes.
vibe generators
It'll be
because they
cool.
give
Good
off
vibe
432 hertz.
That's funny.
And don't tell the government. And then to segue a little bit. Do you have anything you want to talk about the orgone
The
amplifiers?
meteor.
No, I was just going to talk about meteors, bro.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
I'll actually jump in on the
yeah,
meteors
let's
thing.
let Jeff talk about.
This is just by happenstance. It wasn't really a plan, but and this is gonna be a little bit of a diatribe, but back in 2018, I was living in South Chicagoland, where I'm from, and I went through a little bit of something. And I decided, it was
It all
true.
starts
a
when I
while
was
back.
3 years
so
old.
I realized, like,
I thought I
hey,
was
man,
in the third grade.
I've never really seen the stars for real. And I quit my job, and I cashed out my 401k, and I went on this big trip out west. I went all over the place chasing the stars. I went out backpacking in the Badlands.
Remember, he's
Nice.
40.
I went
so
all through
he's been
Utah. Yeah, I am 40.
I'm
I don't
old
wanna
as fuck
necessarily
too.
look it,
Don't
but-
worry about it.
so I went through all the things, and the first place I actually caught the Milky Way and saw it was in Moab at Dead Horse State Park, and
Nice.
It's an
was on my
insane
own.
thing, isn't it?
I got lost out in the desert, and I was looking up, and all these meteors are going, and it was the Perseid meteor shower, which is actually what's happening, and it happened to be the last alignment of what's happening at our festival this year, which is when there's a new moon at the peak of that meteor shower. So I caught the last peak just going out. It was like the first time I ever saw it. Dude, I've become a stargazer ever since, so I've gone out to see a lot of really cool stuff. I've seen eclipses. I've seen all of it.
You live out here, though. I mean, you're going to see some motherfucking
I really
stars,
get after. We're going to have astrophotography out there. We're going to have telescopes. There's going to be other stuff like that.
Yay.
But it's really going to be a spectacular thing. It's like 100 meteors per hour, complete blackness. And
Also,
by
I
the
want
way,
to say
it's
the
not,
music for that
I
night is
want to
also
also point out
specifically curated.
that
Yes.
as well.
Is it really?
It is
Yes, boy.
specifically curated, and there's going to be a different, a little bit of a shift of vibes.
I also want to point out
night, which I
that
think is
even
gonna
though
be
we're
nice.
promoting it as like the Thursday meteor shower party, the meteor shower will be going on for the entire festival, and the skies will be dark for the
just the
entire
peak is
festival because
Thursday.
even though
Yeah.
the moon will start to be illuminated for the next 2 days, it will set at 8 p.m., which is right around the time the sun's going down. So
Yeah.
it's going to be pitch black.
If you haven't been out there on a
It's
new
just
moon,
the
it's
peak
something
is
that
on
is
We're also
spectacular.
11,000
By the
feet
time
up,
we get
guys.
to, say,
Yeah.
Saturday, it'll probably still be about 50 meteors per hour. So
Yeah,
we're
that's pretty
in
good.
the whole time. It'll be
And honestly,
going on.
like, we've been out there working on the build during a new moon before too, and just like the amount of stars that you can see is
Oh,
ridiculous.
sure.
And
You see
even
the
though
whole
it wasn't
Milky
a
Way.
meteor shower, like we saw shooting stars when we were out there
Oh, yeah.
too.
Oh, it's
And
a, it's
aliens.
a, it's a,
So-
yeah, stop.
Aliens?
Yes.
That's what I want.
Listen,
Yeah.
Shout out
Oh,
Cowboys and
Yeah.
Aliens
20
night.
minutes something where
It's
like
SpaceX, guys.
every
Shout out
like someone
NORAD.
announces on a big mic like, "Yo, this is the alien session for 20 minutes. Everyone like put your awareness into the sky. We're gonna try and like contact aliens."
So,
You know that actually
some of the
like goes right
a
into something
plasmoid?
that we didn't get to talk about yet, which is that we're gonna do theme days as well.
Okay.
And our theme for Friday is gonna be like a Cowboys versus Alien kind of theme.
Yes.
And we're gonna have some activities later in
Yes.
the night, which we're gonna get into farther.
The Galactic Hoedown.
Galactic Hoedown.
We got a bunch of fun stuff
Intergalactic
going on.
Wait, so
Hoedown.
that's Friday?
That's Friday.
Yep. So we're encouraging people to either be on Team Alien or Team,
Team
Cowboy.
Cowboy. Yeah.
And come out in your
If you
best,
haven't seen
best
that
gear.
movie, go watch that movie.
and
It's
then-
such
And
a
then
good-
Saturday
It's
for
Saturday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's good.
It's only like an hour and a half. It's a quick one. They go in and out.
Yeah, it's a good
Cowboys
one.
versus Aliens. Check it out.
And for-
This is not a promotional.
True.
It
Yeah.
is.
And for Saturday, we're calling all of our spooky folks for what we deem Wookaween.
Wookaween.
Okay. Okay.
You know.
So Saturday is
Yeah.
gonna be a little spooky.
Just like, yeah,
Costume
Halloween
You're gonna
Yeah,
walk
sure.
around and be like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Think like Michael
what is
Jackson's Thriller, you know, like not so much zombies, not so much spooky, somewhere in
Right,
between,
right.
you
You're
know?
not trying to scare someone. It's supposed to be spooky and
No,
fun."
I want you to dance in your
Right.
fucked up
Theme.
face.
And then finally Sunday, we end at 1 p.m. and instead of normal programming, we're
Badger
having
brunch.
Badger-based brunch where we're just having a big cookout, barbecue style, big jam session at main stage. Everyone hangs out,
Shout
talks
out
about their
BKL.
life.
Jam sesh with live instruments and
Yep.
also backed by one of the best up and coming bands right now in Colorado, 3 for 20.
3 for 20.
Let's go.
They're fire. Those guys are great.
Okay, shout out.
Yeah, this is like, I don't know. Obviously, like whoever's gonna see this, and if you haven't bought the pass yet, guys, it's only $30. We're not trying to make an arm and a leg for this extra day, because it's not like a full night, obviously. But
For the 3-day pass, it's $30.
Well, if
Or-
you-
For Thursday.
If you
For
tack
this-
on the
just-
Yeah,
last.
Thursday is
Just-
the
yeah.
pre-party add-on.
so it's ultimately like this is an event that is like not once in a lifetime, but damn near. And we have the privilege of being in a place where we can. Barring the fires are getting better in Utah and Colorado, which they are. Shout out all the fire departments who are doing all
Yeah.
the crazy work on our our forests right now. But we're mainly only affected visually by the Utah fires, which have been subsequently shrinking. Like they've been taking care of a lot of those. I think a lot of those are well over 60-70% contained now. It's clear skies up there regularly. Like it's kind of insane stars,
Let's go.
I want to really quickly jump in on the price thing and say, one of the things that we invested a lot of money into this year was developing our own ticketing platform so that we don't have
Huge.
to charge you incredible fees.
Exactly.
We're only passing you the fees that, like, essentially the wholesale fees that all
Free
the other
RV
guys that do it,
camping.
they're using
Camping
the
is
same
included with the
systems
ticket,
that we're
it's like-
using to service their platforms, and we are paying... We're just passing that on to you, basically what it costs us, which is pretty low cost, like $2 for one of our tickets, I think is the fee that we charge you. And then we're charging you the tax for the county that we have to.
Yeah.
So our fees are very, very low, but it's because we've invested a lot. And this is on top of, like I said, like our commitments to investment in terms of the production.
Yeah.
In
And
terms
I don't
of
know if
like
you
bang
heard
for
Tigger
buck,
there,
you're not
but-
really going
but
to beat
also,
it. I
like,
think this
free,
close
free
to Denver.
RV camping is like a pretty big thing too.
Free
that,
RV
like,
camping,
not a lot
free
of other
car
festivals do.
camping.
That's something that's entirely new this year too. So
Huge.
Bring out the
And
Ernie's if you got
I mean, I
one.
want to point out, the $30 pre-party, right? It's going to cost us that day minimum of $60 per person per head just to operate the basic services of a festival.
It's a 3-stage full festival.
And that's before we put on music. And so this is just a thank you to our supporters, really.
But
It's a really cool thing. So
I wanna shout
definitely
out-
buy the pass because it's absolutely worth
Well, I
it.
want to shout out to a few artists that we've mentioned on the podcast already. We curated some of the more like really musically talented artists, not only EDM artists, but some of these more jam bands. We have,
I was gonna say, let's wait to name drop some.
Yeah, we should just end it here
yeah.
on a high note. We can't drop
Just know
everyone.
there's anticipation.
We can't drop
and there's some
everyone.
good
Nice
musical
save.
artists,
Yes, we
man.
love that.
Yeah. All right,
You
guys.
guys get it going.
Thanks for coming on. Big shout out to chat. We'll see you guys on Tuesday.
Yeah, chat showed up today.
Thank you guys.
Also, thank you guys for just doing
Yeah,
this.
it was great.
Yeah.
Good time.